And welcome to more conversations with the average black man. I am Timotheus, and my co-host had an emergency, so she may be popping in later, or maybe not. But I'm going to jump right into it. Today's topic is delusion, sexual marketplace value, male and female delusion. You think you ain't what you think you is. You ain't all of that. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna put the link out here right away. So I'm gonna throw the link out there on all the platforms. You look in the comments, you should see the link, and just come on the hell up. Let me put the link out here. So while I wait for people to start rolling in, let's talk about what delusion is, and I want to go into how it's not limited to one gender, how male and female delusion is kind of an equal thing. They got there's men that believe that just because he got a job, I deserve a bad one because I got a job. I'm doing better than most men out here. Most black men don't got a job. I'm a black man with a job. Come on, baby. Let's crack it. You know what I mean? Then on the flip side, there's the undesirable women that think she all of that. I'm all of that. It don't matter that I got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies. That don't got nothing to do with nothing. That means not everybody's gonna be into you. That's what it means. That's that's literally what it means. That means that it is not popping the way you think it's popping. Everybody that's watching, click the link that's in all the comments. I'm throwing the link out in the comments so you can come on up, get on the stage, and talk your mess and talk your talk. Oh, you know what? I put the wrong link. That's my bad. I'm trying to move too fast. I normally got my co-host with me. So boom, there it is. So boom, there's the link, linkity link. Let's see. So what's going on, average man? Come on up to the stage, brother. The link is out there. Let's see if I can pin it. Pin the link. Boom. So y'all come on up. So while that's going on, let me come over here and do this here. We're gonna look up the good old fashioned definition of delusion. Boom. Delusion is a false belief or judgment about external reality. It's held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, occurring especially as a mental condition. It's a mental condition. You are not popping because you think you popping. It's just not how it works. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. You think just because you got a job, you popping, bro? You got a beer belly, you out of shape, you got a receding hairline. Like, dude, you're not popping. You think because you make $20 an hour, oh, I got him, I'm balling. No, that's not how it works. Same with the females. Can't be overweight, got a whole bunch of kids, and think that a millionaire want to come holler at you like, ooh, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you with all the kids. Come on, y'all. Don't be scared of that link. Come on, pop in here. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Come on up here and get on the panel. All right. Well, if y'all ain't gonna do that, I'm trying to do like 5 different things at once. Uh, share this other screen, man. Share this screen.
Always saying that women in their 20s or early 20s are the more desirable age to marry and have children with. But my question is, who says a woman in her 20s desires to marry and have kids with a man who is 10, 15, and 20 plus years older than her? Because the way they're talking under this post, as if women in their 20s are just this unlimited supply of product that they all have access to and can just grab off the shelf at any time, just shows how delusional these men really are. And the reason why they're so delusional is because they've been lied to. The podcasts and the red pill channels that they watch all day long tell them that they don't expire and they can mess around all of their 20s and 30s and they don't have to settle down till their late 40s and 50s, because by the time they reach those ages, they can just pluck any hot, young, attractive woman to settle down with, not realizing that the women in their 20s aren't checking for them, will never be checking for them unless they're cutting a check for them. I'm telling y'all, the way they will shout from the rooftops that women in their 20s are more attractive than women in their 30s plus. But who says a woman in her 20s would find you with your beer belly, receding hairline, and empty wallet more attractive than men her own age? Oh, wait, let me guess. The red pill told y'all that if you hit the gym and eat a couple of veggies, that women my age are just automatically going to choose you. The overwhelming majority of men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are not aging like fine wine. The majority of men are not silver foxes. And even if you were the exception to the rule, why would she choose you? And see, that's the part these men don't realize. It doesn't matter how attractive you are for a man that age. What do you have to offer to compensate for the fact that you're the same age as her father? So let me get this straight. You're almost twice her age. You want her to give you children, and you're asking for 50-50. Okay, so let's just say for the fun of it, she does go 50-50. Why would she choose you? Why wouldn't she choose a man her own age if that's the case? How are you competing? And that's the other thing. A lot of these men don't realize that they have to find a way to compete. You want a woman in a specific age range, but not just that, you're going to factor in her looks, of course. So the pool gets even smaller. And then you're going to factor in her weight, because not every woman in her 20s is the weight that you would like. So the pool gets even smaller. And then you're going to factor in her race. And then you have to factor in if she's even willing to date you in the first place, and all these other factors, until you end up with a very, very small demographic of women that you want and the men her age want. And you think that you're just going to get that woman just on the basis that you want her. You think that that woman wants to carry your old nut for 9 months for free? You think she wants to lick your old pickle for half of the rent? Delusional, peak delusion. And it's really funny because they will swear they're the logical half of the species. And I think part of why they're so delusional is because they're living vicariously through celebrities. A prime example would be Leonardo DiCaprio. Y'all think that because he has a new, younger girlfriend every 3 seconds, that y'all can do the same, but you don't have Leonardo DiCaprio pockets. Look, if Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio with tons of fame and life-changing money, and instead was Leonardo DiCaprio, the next door neighbor who you see occasionally at the grocery store, he wouldn't get to have a younger woman at any time he wanted. So stop the delusions. Us women in our 20s don't care about you being ready to settle down or how the chances are better for having children. We want to know what's in it for us and how you're going to make our lives easier. You don't get to play in the faces of women who were in their 20s when you were in your 20s, then come back to us looking to suck up our youth too. No, sir. Where's the car? Where is the house? Where is the deed? Where is the will? Where is the money?
Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Welcome to the stage. Moorish, welcome to the Stiz Age.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
All right, all right, all right. Hold on, I got another video trying to get it popped. I don't like how this stuff is like playing without me ready for it to play. Let's see. Refresh.
When it's a really good guy trying to be in your life, but you know he would make the perfect side nigga. So the man who's going to treat you right, be a good father to your kids, make sure you are protected, make sure you have everything you need to be in your happy place. He's not the one you want. When I get on here and say that y'all are some horrible decision makers, this is what we're talking about. You have a good guy in front of you, but you want to make him the side dude, which means you want to make the bad guy the main dude. That's the first problem. The second problem is the fact that you're talking about a side dude in the first place. So even if you get the good guy, all you're going to do is cheat on him. We're doomed, fellas.
This is the worst.
I hate when it's a really
Absolutely ridiculous notions, man. Like this delusion. I don't know how much you peeped out, but I started with male delusion. I played a clip with a woman explaining male delusion. And then I just played the clip right now with that gentleman explaining female delusions. Where you at? What you got to say? What are your thoughts?
On the male delusion, female delusion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't really think it's more delusion. I just think that we're in a time and place where we don't really understand each other. So it's like a misunderstanding more than a delusional. I mean, like people don't take the time to really like understand and get to know the person. Like it's like fast food. You know what I mean? Relationships. It's like microwave relationships. So when it's getting carried on like that and you ain't taking the proper steps to like get to know somebody and understand how they feel and how communication part work, then it's gonna be on this delusional level. People's gonna think it's something that it's not, especially with the line. So it's a mix. It's a mixed couple. It's a mixed variety of things.
Right on. I agree. Welcome to the stage, Maurice.
What's going on? How we living?
All right, all right. Topic. I don't know how much you have or haven't been able to peep out, but it's about male and female delusion. You know, the misunderstanding of sexual marketplace value in both men and women. Welcome to the stage, just us. You know, I was just explaining to Maurice. The topic is male and female delusion. You know, the misunderstanding of sexual marketplace value. You know, they got men that think just because he got a job that he can get a supermodel. I got a job. You know, I got 80% of all other men beat, baby. You know, most men is unemployed. I got a job, girl. You know, then the flip side is the not so attractive plus size woman that has a plethora of children by a multitude of individual men being thinking she's a catch. Like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get married. I'm married, you know. Anybody want to wife me up, you know, that's just those are extreme examples, but you know, everyone's free to present and comment as they will. Not everybody all at once.
I guess for me, it kind of all whittles down on both ends that this concept of like love conquers all is bullshit, right? Because the whole thought was that let's get rid of all these distractions and then you get to be with the people that you love, you know, regardless of all the, you know, the nuances of relationships that tend to get in the way and become distracting. But I think we've safely discovered all that is nonsense. That fairy tale Disney stuff is, you know, it's not what it is. It's not what it is. There's more to it. It's more complicated. It's got more nuances, and that's that.
All right, anybody else? Just us? Moorish?
Like I said, when I'm older, so I look at it as like when I was coming up, we ain't have all this misunderstanding and complications. Like everybody understood their role, and it was more or less, is you handling your business or not? Like that's what most of our females was on back in my day. They just wanted somebody that was handling their business. Now the females, it's like role reversals and all type of stuff. So with all that being said, there's always going to be a miscommunication when the roles ain't defined. If the roles got defined and everybody knew their place, things would probably go a lot easier.
Yeah, but that's just the thing, though, is that we live in a society that teaches everybody to be hyper individualistic. So there is no community if the collective is about self. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
second that.
definitely. Okay.
No, I was gonna say I second that. You know, once we understand that our, the fundamental social unit is a family. Um, I mean, it all comes back down to how does one build a family? And until we can figure out all the details and nuances behind that, there's always going to be these levels of delusion and feelings of grandeur as to what is it that you want, and what is it that you can get, and trying to figure out what the edges are.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like people was trying to reinvent the wheel, right? Because the question that you said was, how do you do it? I'm like, it's been done for thousands of years, right? It's now in this day and age where people are trying to switch stuff around, stuff that was already positions and things that were already solidified. Now people are wanting to overstep boundaries and get into new and different boundaries. So as long as lines is being crossed and boundaries is being overstepped, there's going to be problems. But if it goes back to what it was before the boundaries, before all of these problems, there was a point in time where the family, structure didn't have all of these problems, right? These is the problems that's going on right now are new problems, and the new problems could go away if new issues don't get brought up. So if you bring up new issues, then that's going to lead to new problems. And now we got to try to figure out something that we've been doing for thousands of years already with no problem. That's my take.
I keep hearing you say no problems. That's a heavy burden to put on the past, man. There was plenty of problems.
No, what I mean by no problems, if you're comparing to what's going on right now, yeah, no problems.
Different
If
problems.
you compare with the average male has to deal with right now compared to what our grandfathers went through, man, he would be like, I can't believe y'all are going for this. They could not have pulled this on our granddads. They would have looked them females in the face and be like, y'all out y'all goddamn minds if y'all think we gonna go for this. But these new men of today is something they different. They built. It's the men's fault. First of all, we not gonna act like we ain't gonna appropriate the problems to who's doing what, right? The females are doing exactly what we're letting them do. So if we let them do what they're doing, they're gonna keep on doing it. Because everybody's women, everybody on the planet don't have these problems that we got with our women, right? This is a unique thing that we got going on. Everybody else's women on the planet is in line. So there's not no problem. So when you got a female out of line, yeah, you're gonna have a problem in your family. That go with anybody on the planet. Get a female out of line, family structure is instantly out of pocket.
Well, I mean, let's look at the family chain then, because where these females come from, right? They come from like single family homes. How these in? I'm single mother homes. How
We're
these
not
single
doing that. We're not
create?
doing that, brother. The song "Papa Was a Rolling Stone" was made back in the day, man. What are you talking about, brother? See what the problem was when the father left out of the home back in the day. Somebody got to mute up.
Mute that.
When the father left the home back in the day, the rules didn't change, right? When he came back to the crib, the same rules that when he left, those rules were still there. Nowadays, if you leave for any amount of time, you come back, yeah, new rules is in place. Probably got your son or your daughter doing some old other stuff that they wasn't doing. The whole system done switched up. I'm saying now females feel like they can make their own system. They even say dumb stuff like I'm the mom and the dad. I never heard my mom say that. I never heard my grandma say that. I never heard none of my aunts say they're the mom and the dad. Never. Now they want to be both. This is madness, man. Like, come on, man. That's like a man saying I'm the mom and the dad. Man, hey yo, now you out of pocket, brother, calling yourself a mom.
Yo,
Right? But we'll let a female say that and don't even correct her.
I can agree with everything you're saying, but then there's always the question: like, if homeboy up and leave, what is she supposed to do?
You said, what is she supposed to do?
Yeah, what is she supposed to do?
And look, see, when you say that, right? Now you're supposing that the other, for the thousands of years before this, that when the female was in that position, she didn't know what to do. What do you mean? What does she do? She do with the thousands of females that came before her. See, when you try to make something up, this is where we have a problem, because now the people is acting like they don't know what to do.
Well, I'm asking the question because clearly people don't know what to do.
Yeah, so now let's go back to, if you don't know what to do, that means you got raised not to know what to do. See, now we're going back to the key issues, the parents. So if somebody's walking around and they don't know what to do, they don't know how to raise a child, that's because your mom didn't raise you right. So now we're talking about the actually thing that's what's going on with the problem, right? And if your mom didn't get raised right, that is a real problem, because in our mom's era, they were raised right. So somehow, somewhere in the matrix, you took a different pill. That's on you and your family. Y'all don't represent all the families out here, because you can't say females don't know what to do, because females been doing what they've been doing for a long time, and it been going with no problem. This don't know what to do stuff is new. This is a new question.
It's still
I don't think it's a natural thing for a woman to raise a child first of all, raise a child, period. A woman knowledge come to a mature man, and that knowledge she gains to a mature man, but two active hemisphere of his brain helps her to activate hers. So she don't raise a child on her own. If a woman raised a child on her own knowledge, a child would not be in a good state of mind. And vice versa. You need both parents. There's no such thing as a woman raise a child, unless you want destructive generation continue.
Wait a minute, brother. The generations I just explained to you. Papa Was a Rolling Stone came out in the 50s, right? So I'm saying back then
Listen to
the
a
men
song.
was leaving the
Song,
crib.
so a song makes a generation.
No, I'm saying they made a song about it because it was happening, right? That's what I'm trying to let you know, right? The single mothers had single mothers in the 50s, in the 60s too, and the 70s and the 80s. This single mother thing ain't nothing new. The only thing that's new is people trying to act like there's some different way to do it. So they are looking and trying to find these ways to do something that was working right. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. Like I said, there was already a wheel. And then somebody said, oh, I need to put 20-inch rims on it now. And then somebody wanted to put 26. Like, yo, it's going to keep on going on.
A single mother thing is unnatural.
The standard size of the rim.
So what I'm saying to you, that's a unnatural occurrence. the single mother thing. That's what I'm telling you. I know it's not new in our time, but what I'm telling you is an unnatural occurrence.
All right. And I'm saying, well, why wasn't our fathers and our grandfathers so throwed off by the single mother thing? Why did they turn into great men with the single mother?
Who are the people you talking about to turn into
I'm
great
talking
men?
about our
Oh,
fathers. Is your father just a bum or
uh,
something?
real
Because
quick,
my father's not, right?
hang on,
And my father's not. So I'm saying the fathers from the 60s and the 70s was raised by single women, and they came out nothing wrong with them.
okay,
Okay,
shout out,
so hold on.
hang on real quick,
Oh,
shout out to Coach Ferg. Welcome to the panel, and everybody watching. The link is in the comments, and it's in the back chat for everybody in the back chat watching. Okay, go ahead, my bad.
all right. So the thing is this, where you're not factoring in is that again, I must start off again. It's an unnatural state for a woman to raise a child by herself. Now, there's something called mentors, where there's men that step in, whether there's coach, basketball, football, whatever the case may be, brothers, maybe uncles. These are men that stepped in and helped that great man that you're talking about. It's impossible for a woman by herself, no help, zero help, to raise that male child by herself, and he does not come on feminine. Impossible. So for him to have a balanced brain, right, to have the masculine and the feminine, the left and right hemisphere balanced out, there has been someone who have interjected themselves into that child life to help them go on the right path. There's no such thing as a
Uh,
single mother all
can I ask
100%
you a
by herself
question?
raise a boy.
Have you ever mentored anybody before? You personally?
Okay, I'm not talking about me. I'm
No,
going
I'm
to speak
asking
to
you.
what you said. Again,
I'm
I already
asking
answered.
you.
I
All right,
answered your
but
question. I'm not talking about
I
me.
know you did, so I'm talking now. So I asked you that because I did, right? Because I coached kids for 17
Are you
years,
a
right,
mother?
of my
Are you a
life.
mother?
No, listen. Did you ask me if I'm a mother?
Yeah, because we was talking about women
Wait a
just
minute,
now.
brother. If they ask me if I'm a mother, now you trying to disrespect me. I ain't disrespect you,
Can I
right?
jump in?
So maybe
Can
I
I
don't
jump
know.
in?
Hold on. We gonna start this over, right? Don't disrespect me, brother. Right? I
But
ain't come at you weird. I ain't say nothing to you. This ain't no laughing matter, right? I don't joke. I'm not no get
uh,
along to go along type of brother, right?
we're
So treat
talking
me
about
with the
mothers
same
though, and you
respect
put
that I'm
yourself in
giving
it.
you. No, you brought up, you said a coach or a mentor, right? So I asked you, were you that person? Because I'm that person you're talking about. The coach, the mentor person, that's me. That's not
You
you.
proved my
So
point. You
you
proved my
talking
point.
about me. Hold on, brother. You're talking about me. So I asked you, was you one of the men that's doing the mentoring and the coaching and bringing young men up to be uh, grown men, right? And you
Okay,
said you not that person, but I am, right? So I've
you
been doing
you
that
missed
for
what's happening.
17 years. For 17 years, I've been that man that you're talking about. So when I'm giving you the perspective from the other side, just know I'm the man when you go to make your quote or analogy for the other side, you talking about me. So I'm definitely qualified to give the analogy on the other side because I'm dealing with the single moms, right? So
But
you
you
can't
just
tell me, and I'm actually hands on with the joint. You know what I mean? So I done went through generations of children to the point where when I first started coaching, them dudes that when I first started coaching is grown men right now. They in their 30s, right? So I'm saying that at this point where I'm telling you that I've been dealing with it from that end, and then I seen living it and from my end, right? And I seen how our mothers raised us is nothing how these females are raising these children now. See, now you
so
talking about the quality of the parent, right? Because our parents had a whole different moral system than the children is going on right now, right? We didn't disrespect grown-ups. We didn't run around. A grown-up could check you in the street. If another grown-up seeing you doing something wrong, they could go back and tell your mom and get you in trouble. If you try that right now, they'll be like, what is you even talking to my child for, and cuss you out, right? So it's a
again,
different type of parent that you're dealing with. So when you're getting the different results, I'm saying we're getting different results because people is doing different parenting that was going on for the whole time. And like I said, thousands of years We was doing it a certain way. Now, in this day and time, we trying something different, thinking we gonna get the results from yesteryear, trying a different way. Because
So
in
again, you just
anything we try, we
Real
just
quick,
trying to get
real
back
quick,
to the old thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Shout out to Touche. Welcome to this panel. Zerubbabel, welcome to the panel.
Shalom, brother. Shalom, family.
All right. And Honey Clark, welcome to the panel.
so again,
Hey,
you just proved my point on when I'm saying you need both
Yeah.
masculine and feminine. You're the one who stepped in as the masculine. You proved my point on it. It's not just only a woman by herself, 100%. That's all. You just proved the point.
No, listen to what I'm saying, brother. I'm saying that there was mentors back in the day. How what you're saying? There's mentors in this time, like right now, like me. Right? I'm a mentor, and it's still going wrong. Right? We're talking about factors, and we're talking about equations right here. Where is going different? Why is our children turning into monsters, and they wasn't monsters? Why is it we getting monsters now, and we wasn't getting monsters back then? Right? There's something that's going on different, that's going on, that's making the change, right? And then when we make the change and try to make it better,
no,
we're
there's
just
nothing
actually
different.
going back to what it was before. We're trying to get back to where we was before
But no, it's nothing
because we're so
different.
messed up right now.
Okay, can I
Yo,
speak?
Morris, you're gonna have to take a breath, bro. Come on, let's
Yeah, man. He's something
Okay.
else.
Hold on. Let's let the ladies get in. Touche, go ahead. Let's the men that we've spoken. Let's be gentlemen and allow the ladies to speak.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. The same mess been going on. The problem is social media. The meta world makes it easier to shun people and their behavior. So we got access to, see more what's going on in people's lives today. So that's why, it's like a public display of this dysfunction that's been going on. But no, this mess been going on. And earlier the brother was saying that, oh, you know, basically putting everything on a woman because a man choose to leave. Oh, like if a man choose to leave a woman and you talking about this woman, she shouldn't raise a child on her own. I mean, what? I mean, she's raising a child. What do you want? Like, what you want her to do? Get a child away? Like, what is your ultimate route for her to take?
A
Because
solution.
a woman, a solution. Yeah, a woman ain't in the business of keeping no man that don't want to be kept.
Preach.
So, like, what? I mean, what do you want the woman to do?
But can I jump in?
Now that's a question. Like,
Oh,
y'all can answer that.
okay.
And let
Yeah,
So,
me say this. Let me
answer
say
so
this,
that.
and I'm gonna
here
yield.
was
And
my
I'm gonna
answer.
yield. Okay, but go ahead. I'll wait.
No,
Go ahead.
this would be my answer, and this is no disrespect. For one, and I'll go since and brother Timothy, I say this all the time. Salute to the crack era adults, man. A lot of things got out of whack during that time. A lot of good representatives of families were either deleted, got caught up in the whole narcotic wave. It was families that were destroyed. It was friendships that was destroyed because of that. And now here we are. Now the problem is that I've seen working in social services in Chicago and all over the South, Midwest. Listen, we're not. Our relationships are not producing child. Just hooking up is producing a child. That's the problem. Most of these children are not born of mother and father in a relationship. Mother and father are hooking up out to the club, hooking up when the kids go to sleep. No expectation from each other. He's coming over, he's laying it down. We're not saying wear protection. The brother's not protecting himself. He's going in raw. She's giving it up raw. The child comes into play, and that's a result of the adults being negligent. Then the thing that messes up the child is, and this is where I think, younger people sort of have to figure it out, because once the child is here, the focus should be on the child. Most of y'all not in relationships anyway. But once the child is here, and this could also help women a great deal. You got a son or something. First of all, okay, let me backtrack. you should know the guy that you sleeping with. You know the nigga ain't shit. You know he ain't doing shit, but he got that swag you like and you give it up. Now, even when the child is born, when that boy turned 12, 13, when his scrotum sac separate from his body, he must get around positive men. If the father's not qualified, I'm sure there's some other guys in the community, some business type guys, some guys that's going to say, hey, you do it the right way. Not nobody, and that's your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your nephews, your cousins who talking about fuck everybody, the world ain't shit. No, they are feeding your child the wrong message. So when your child goes through that puberty at 16, 17, they become predators themselves. They out here, they having just the nasty sex, pornographic sex, 15, 16, 17 years old. And it's unfortunate because the young ladies, they put themselves in that situation. And then when they get into their 20s, they 8, 10 bodies down, but no relationship, no building. It's just emotions gone to waste. And boys, same thing. Boy needs a transition. Has nothing to do with whether you the female or not. A boy needs to interact with other boys of like man and other men who are righteous. A man that has no interest in trying to get with you, allow him to show your son to be the best man he could be. Because I don't need to toot myself and put women down to show that I'm a man. A man is going to stand on his square. I'm going to show up amongst other men, and that'll change the dynamic of the future. Stop telling our kids what the hell they can't do, and it ain't for everybody. You can't tell your sons and daughters school ain't for everybody and all that. No,
Right.
go in there and do the best you can. And when they call me, tell you on that bullshit, I'm gonna come and embarrass you in front of your classmates. But if we keep trying to keep this separate stuff, man, believe me, man, these children ain't got a chance, and they're gonna be looking at the adults, and ain't nobody gonna say, you know what, I fucked up. Excuse me, man. Ain't nobody gonna say I messed up.
You good. You good.
So just,
Absolutely, Bert. You good,
focus on your child. If you know your life ain't nothing, man, the Olympics is coming in 4 years. You got a 12-year-old, put him in something.
That's Bert.
That's all I got.
Well,
Let me let Honey get in because Honey Clark had put something in the private chat. She wanted to say something. She was just waiting her turn. Go ahead. Miss.
okay, I want to say something at the honey.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that when you say like people are having like they just having babies after coming from the club, I don't think that that's a fair assessment. I do think that you could say, or we could try to say, people are having babies out of disrespectful relationships, right? Where the relationship didn't have respect. Y'all was fighting, y'all doing whatever. You get pregnant now, it's not gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? Then you continue, and then you wonder why. And now the person that was already disrespectful, and it's now you expect them to be a father, or you expect her to be a mother, and y'all relationship was already disrespectful. Right. And so we got to realize that like it's not that. And then also
That's right.
like we always skip to the children, right? And well, when we having these kids and how to be parents, but we have to learn how to have relationships. We got to learn how to do that because if we can learn how to have respectful relationships, it's going to automatically trickle down because we're going to respect ourselves, we're going to respect our partner, we're going to respect our children. So once we learn that respect, you know what I'm saying? Then
That's right.
it's gonna have a trickle down effect. But until we can learn to respect each other and our placement and whatever we have going on, it's not gonna work. So a lot of times we be like, "Oh, don't just stop hooking up with people." People ain't gonna listen to that because they be like, "Well, I ain't just hooked up with him. I was talking to him for a year, yeah, on and off, and in between this and that and the other." No, your relationship was disrespectful. So learn how to have a healthy, respectful relationship first. Then the rest of you gonna go with. It's gonna
Right.
happen.
No. Hey, right. No doubt. No doubt. So
Right.
what does that look
Because
like? What does
children
Hold
what
on.
does
that
the help?
get abandoned come from relationships that the parents don't like each other. And it's easy for the
Touche.
father to
I
walk
don't
away
know.
from the child.
I don't know if it's whose
Huh?
background is that got
There.
that noise in it. Whose
Yeah, it's
background?
like a
Somebody just
loud
That's not
something.
Like
mine.
somebody driving.
sound like somebody driving, got cars passing by or something. Yeah. Okay, go
I
ahead. Let's
don't
go.
think it's mine.
Oh, that
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
am driving. Oh,
No, it's
okay.
gone.
I'm sorry.
It
Just roll
was
your
you.
windows up.
Is it
Turn
You
your
good
Go
radio.
now?
ahead.
Now we hear you.
Go ahead, sis.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, so what I was saying was you're right, Denise. Most of these kids that be abandoned by their fathers come from the disrespectful relationships where it's to the point where I can't stand the mother, so they been on the child. Okay, and the brother was talking about like the easy sex, you know what I'm saying, women just giving it up. But that's both of them giving it up. And that should be a charge. Reckless fucking. They should, that should be a law. But anyways, what I'm saying is, and I'm about to yield the floor, guys. When it comes to like women and men hooking up after the clubs, they been doing that since the juke joint, since the sugar shack. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing has changed. Like, these babies being made out of wedlock is like, it's still here. Only difference is they're not making them have shotgun weddings anymore. But
and where has that gotten us to?
Example. It wasn't like
let her get it out. Let her get it out. Come on,
no doubt.
Gentlemen, let her get it out, please. Appreciate you.
But that's pretty much it. But he said, what have that led us to? Well, one, I feel like the people probably are more sane today because you're not forcing these people to be married and be in this dysfunctional relationship, because that's what mostly of these messed up psychotic people come from, is from these dysfunctional relationships, these forced marriages and stuff. That's why the dysfunctional kids come from.
All right, now can I say something?
Okay.
Can I say something? You good?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, what it sounds like to me is, when are we gonna start? Well, when are we, women and men, gonna start taking accountability for our actions? When?
All right. Okay, Z,
Stop
I got
complaining.
you.
Take
Stop
accountability
complaining.
for action.
No,
I
want to build.
No,
I want
I
to build on what
listen to
Z
the
just
man
said.
on this call.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
want to build on what Z just said, because what Z just said ties into what somebody said earlier, and that basically boils down to the parenting. Now, for the majority of us on this call are over 40. We the parents now. We the parents. We the ones raised these 20-year-olds that's out here popping their asses and all that bullshit. We did it. Us. We the parents. We the parents that failed these kids. Look in the mirror and think about it.
No. You mean our parents?
No, when I say we, I don't mean when I say we, I don't mean us, but I'm talking about our generation. That's what I'm saying. Our generation.
I can agree with that.
Our generation are the ones that got kids out here popping that ass, throwing it back, talking about all that bullshit, and got the babies, the 20-year-olds now got the little babies out here singing Sexy Red. So that's on us.
But Tim, when we was little, were we not doing the same thing?
No.
Did you do that in front of your mom?
Who wasn't doing that?
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were.
We would say, "Oh,
Shawala
Walla, oh,
hold on.
Bang, bang.
Hold on.
Mama,
Say,
why you dress so
hang on,
funky?
Touche. Hang on, Touche.
Are we playing?
Because no, let's keep it G real 100. On the last show, I talked about this, and I held men accountable. I held myself accountable when we was talking about how people choose and vet. We was Doodoo Brown, who ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Yes, we were. Let's not pretend that wasn't us.
I'm just saying that's very different from my booty hole.
No, it's the same thing.
No.
Did y'all hold up? Did y'all do that dance in front of y'all parents though?
No.
Was y'all doing that in front of y'all parents?
I'm getting to that. That's the part I'm getting to. The difference is we did that stuff in secret. We didn't do that. We didn't have mamas that was driving in the car with us. Ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Do that little dance.
Yeah. Nobody seen that bullshit.
That wasn't us. We knew that what we were doing, our parents absolutely did not approve of. We knew
Uncle Luke wasn't getting invited to the DNC. How to perform?
Right.
That's real.
Right. Uncle Luke wasn't getting invited to the RNC, the DNC, or none of that type of stuff.
Very different.
Right.
Very
So when we look at that, when we look at the delusion that people have, these male and females having delusion now, it's on the parents, and a lot of us are the parents. So if there's a group of individuals that for whatever reason, there's a generation of kids that want to cap and act like they want to get married. They want to cap and say, oh, if you're going, a wife is this and the husband is this, but you ain't seen that before. 75-80% of the population and of us being this color have grown up in single parent households, predominantly with a mother. You have never seen a healthy relationship. You have never seen
Well,
a healthy marriage. You
I would
don't know how to
say,
do it. You've
I don't know
never
about
seen
that
it.
because my parents was
No.
older
I would
and they
say for
definitely was
us,
No, no, no.
married.
our
I'm not
But
age.
you're
talking
speaking
about.
from anecdotal experience.
I'm not
No,
talking
I
about
get
the
your point
outliers.
though.
I'm
I
No,
get
no,
talking
your
no. I'm
about.
point.
saying like a lot of our parents were old. Like a lot
I,
of the parents now are younger.
but what I would
They're
say is,
younger
even
than
for
when
those
we
of us
was
that were
like.
raised by single parents, right? We still had aunts, uncles, cousins that were married. We'd
They
spend the
had
summer
some
with them.
decency.
What I'm saying is now there's nothing. These kids are so far removed from that because nobody needs each other. And the incels is like, why do I need you? I'm going to go overseas and I am going to find me a wife, or at least I'm going to pay for one for the weekend. And then all the single mothers are saying, well, I don't need you because I could be the mama and daddy. And meanwhile, these kids are just caught up in the middle. When I realized, my son taught me a very valuable thing, right? Because I'm thinking, me and his mother, I'm thinking we're doing all the right things, right? He's a sophomore in college now, praise God, right? But when he was very young, when I thought we were doing the right thing, he said, I mean, it's still tough because I don't like choosing whose house I gotta go to for Christmas. And I'm like, damn, no matter
Yes.
how good we think we're doing a part, we're not recognizing what these kids need from us in terms of being together.
Yes. And
Right.
nobody asked the kids a question.
So
Nobody
with
ever
that
asked the
being
kids a question.
said, the real delusion. See, when I came up with this show and I did my notes, I was mostly focused on relationship. But you brothers and sisters have actually dug a deeper hole. The real delusion is believing that we can raise kids in single parent households and not be a combined unit, and that there won't be a deficiency in these kids in this development. That's the real delusion. The real delusion is not believing you need a healthy, stable two-parent environment in order for these children to have proper mental development. Because they'll absolutely be all right in a
Yes.
one parent.
That's
They'll be
that's
okay.
what I was saying earlier.
Hang on. They'll be okay in a single parent household with just a mom. You know what I'm saying? And the mom's taking care of everything. They okay. They eating. They getting clothes and all of that. All of that's true.
But they grow up to be
There's some
monsters.
mental stability there. I'm gonna drop down for a minute and let somebody else come on the panel because we got some other people popping in.
So
Yeah, no doubt. So
the
let me
thing
let me
is,
speak on
and the thing is that
what he just said. But yeah, but a lot of these kids that you're talking about, Timothy, they really are the monsters in the streets. They really are.
and the thing is, the mother have to maintain that child. If she don't, she
Yeah,
go to jail. So they ain't like she doing. Most of them may not be doing all the love. They get locked up if they don't do it. That's called maintaining, not actually growing up the child, taking care of them to be good citizens, and you know what I'm saying, in the world.
yeah.
Maintaining don't count because you go to jail if you don't.
So now, how do we get back from what's already been homegrown by our people? How do we get back from that bullshit?
Everybody's going to have to start
Well,
playing their
first of
role.
all, you're not gonna go to jail though. That's not.
No,
You can
okay.
give up
So
your
let's
you
be
give up your
realistic.
The
kids,
first
How
thing each
actually
but
are
one
we
of
going to
us
come
has to
back?
do on both sides
like
is
you
say
can
I
give
was
it up.
wrong.
But honey,
But
Yeah.
you
I
There you
gotta
go.
mean,
no. You
No
gotta
matter how
respect
right,
your
no matter
kids.
how right we were.
Respect your children.
How you
Most
going to
people
respect
don't. Our
somebody when you've been
parents,
treating them to
hold
not
on.
respect nothing?
Our parents didn't respect us.
Huh?
but
We didn't
honey,
have a voice. We didn't
I
have
didn't have to
No.
anything. We
reset.
were told to be quiet. We were told to go sit down. You didn't have a voice. You didn't get to say shit. You were
And that was a good
seen
thing.
and not heard.
That was a
You were
great
doing all of
thing.
that,
That was a
right?
great thing.
Okay.
But
And so
That's how it's
now,
working.
if you
It
keep
works.
disrespecting your children, then yes, they're going to be disrespectful. We got people who yell and scream obscenities in front of their kids, show up to their kids' school looking like anything. They don't respect their kids' time. They don't respect their kids' feelings.
But
They
that's a
don't respect
generational
anything about
thing.
their kids.
You
So if
complete
you're not respecting your kids, you will have disrespectful kids because that's all
Yes.
that they see.
or you
And those
can
kids
I,
will grow up and raise disrespectful kids, right?
no, y'all conflating a bunch of things, just mixing a bunch of subjects together. All right, the parent that's telling them the kid when to speak, when not to speak, is a whole different parent than the one that's cussing out their kids.
yeah.
Like Let's not mix
Yeah,
them.
it's not the same, brother. Thank you.
I didn't say tell them when to speak and when not to. I said they're not supposed to at all. They don't have a voice at all.
People could assume that if you don't allow your children to speak because they have a voice, that you're disrespecting them. It's not the same thing. A child is supposed to speak.
What you just said? That what
you just said? Some you one. That's crazy. What are you talking about?
That was the word solid right there.
But okay, so let's walk it down a little bit because
wait, honey, you do go to jail if you don't take care of that child and allow them to starve and die in their house. You will go to jail.
You can give them up. You can just give them your kids.
But be honest,
don't go too far off what we're talking about.
Listen, saying giving up. Listen, let's be honest. Most of us are not going to just give up a kid. Now the thing is this, and this is a lot of what I've seen.
Sorry, honey would give it up.
I worked in social services in Chicago, and this is a lot of what I've seen. Okay, you have a child. Now, me as a father, I'm going to show my child respect by one, ensuring that he has a balanced meal, ensuring he has clean clothes, ensuring that he's being respectful. I'm going to show him the techniques of saying thank you. No, thank you. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, yeah. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Older, but these are things I have to be taught. I can't just do it. I have one conversation. I have to be willing to do it 3 or 4 times. When I show up to my child's school, anything I'm showing up to my child for, I'm going to be dressed always appropriate. I can't have my ass out. I can't have my titties out. That's just what it is, because it's not about you. It's about the child. Like you said, respect. Now, when I talk to you, I'm going to talk to you nice and calm in your bedroom and say, this is what daddy expect. This is what I need. You do your role. I'm going to make sure you got everything you need. When you go to school and you perform at your highest level, I know I'm slow. Mama's slow too. So if you can give me all C's, that means you're trying. Don't go there and cuss out people, because when I come to school, I'm getting in your ass, son. I'm getting in your ass, daughter. I'm not questioning the school because I know my child is already messed up. You see it around the house. When you walk in the kid's room and your child's room is dirty, whether you man or woman, you can't just cut that out of your house. You got to say, hey, get this together over here. This is my expectation. Now, if we need to have this conversation all week, cool. Because I know you're hungry. I know you want to eat. I don't have to cook. But not saying, but you got to know how to play head games with your kids so you can always stay in front and show them the respect by showing up appropriately. If there's a meeting at your child's school, show the hell up. It doesn't matter. Show up. If there's time to talk to someone that's an adult who's trying to teach your child something, give your child the expectation to listen, to learn. Because all of this we talk about is poor black man shit. How are we going to get our youth to survive amongst the other adults of other cultures? Because they're coming in, going into those spots where we telling our kids education ain't for everybody. We can't do that. We can't downplay what the kid ain't already got to. If I ain't going to go to college and I didn't want to do stuff now, I'm 35, 40 working at McDonald's, that's supposed to be your baby's job. But we got to learn how to keep our kids appropriately. Don't let them see all you're getting high and drinking and all that. Go get out of here. Get out of my face. That's the way it did. So they have to learn on their level. And as they coming up, you have to just give them the righteous way. Give them the righteous way. They're going to figure out all that crazy stuff outside of your presence. But as you show up as a parent, male or female, give them the high expectation. You show up respecting the atmosphere. Show up appropriately. That plays into a kid's mind.
Right.
You know,
So
I always don't understand how when a boy see you show up with tight, you got your monkey paws showing, and all his buddies looking, they like, damn, his mama. And he's sitting over, I gotta eat that. And so just be respectful in all the ways. And then ladies, and this is, ask your kid, have conversations, ask them to ask questions, because they may feel that you're gonna attack them just off it. Ask questions and look at it from both sides, you know, because there's no book that qualifies us to be 100% parent. You learn as you go, and you have to be willing to learn from people who've already done it. If not, think about it. Generations curses are only broke from the generation that's coming up. And the way it look now, the way everybody talking now, hell, we're going to be 10 times worse than we were 30, 40 years ago. So it's about what you decide to do. I'm sorry.
Hey, hold on. Hey, I gotta agree with somebody's comment just came up and it said these parents are not raising their kids today.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alicia and Abdul
Astro
coming to the panel.
Projections 369 said these parents ain't raising these kids no more. They
I'm gonna
not.
drop down and
We
let somebody
raising.
else
Hold
come
on,
over the
hold
panel.
on. We
Wait,
The,
fathers back here. We raised our kids. We took them out the hood. We make sure they go to school. We change them. We do all that. I don't like the stereotypes that they doing. And as a
We're
parent,
not talking about the
knowing it was
anomalies like
dangerous
me
in
and
the
you.
hood, we moved them out the hood to a good area. That's what you're
you talking
supposed to
about the
do as a
majority.
parent.
yeah,
It's
they talking
like,
about the
I'm talking
majority, but
about the
I think
So,
it's the
so
majority.
Fred,
generation.
I have
Is
a
it?
question for Fred.
Okay, I got you.
So the same way how you saying you got to dress appropriately to go to school when you go into that kid's school to do not disrespect that child. Should if the mother and the father not, they may not be the best as getting on relationship, should they not disrespect that child and get along for that child's sake and some way the co-parent?
It's like football practice. When they show up to the game, they need to have one voice on how to get this problem solved with the child. Yes, and this was can save a lot of time and a lot of heartache.
But
We
but the
have to admit
majority
sometimes it can be. Yeah, yes. Listen,
in the majority, they be like, well, if he does this, I'm not gonna do that, or she does it, I'm not gonna do it. Versus you knowing in your head you disrespecting your child by not allowing that child to see the next parent.
Well, it goes deeper than that
yeah.
because there's an issue between the I mean, we would bounce across a bunch of different issues here. We went for like the relationships, all that stuff. It comes back down to that relationship, understanding the role between the man and the woman in a relationship. And until that gets worked out, there's no way you're going to agree on how you're going to deal with the kids. At least at the base level. Even if y'all split up, you're not going to agree.
But you still disrespecting the child, but not allowing that parent to be around the child, right?
You're skipping a step. You're going to just step two. Step one is understanding the relationship between the man and the woman.
And step one is the relationship.
Yeah, step rush is
No, that wouldn't be step one. That would be step two. Step one is the relationship with yourself. That's step one.
All right.
But
Because
you're talking
I
about
mean, if you want
situations
to
where
move the goal that way, then sure.
You're right.
no relationships. That's what we're talking about, right?
Right. There ain't no relationship.
There is no relationship between the man and the woman. So now what do we do with the kids?
Dysfunctional
But
relationship.
that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't disrespect the kids, but not allowing the mother or the father to be around them.
They
Right?
don't
I
know what
mean,
else to do.
So when he
They know.
said, "Where do we start from here?" My thing was, we have to both start by saying we're wrong. No matter how right we've been, but we've been
Nah,
getting things wrong. If you can't
nah,
acknowledge that, right, then you can't really fix anything.
nah. You off
No,
balance.
he's right.
Nah,
you
you
got
off.
to deal with self. That's the
Yeah.
first step.
It's bigger
Yes.
than self though. Because
The
No,
if I'm
crackhead
just
can't
dealing
admit
in
they're a
self,
crackhead.
right?
That's it.
If I'm
you
just dealing in self,
I
I have no
understand.
place on this call, right? My kids go to a Christian school, private school, right? I got a whole different set of problems. My daughter talking to her, they in kindergarten. She says, I like the princesses to her friend. Little white girl told her, oh no, I don't like Elsa because everyone at Disney are demons and they've been sent from Satan and they all live at Jeffrey Epstein crib. When I'm making this, I got a whole different set of issues, even when you think you're doing it right, right? You're gonna have to deal with different things from here to there. So
bro. No me
when it
knows.
comes to us, we can't look at it from just a deal with self level,
It's always
unless
about self. That's the only way to improve in this world. First, you need equilibrium of self in order to have equilibrium of the world. You
I
first got
disagree
to
with
have
that.
a balance of self.
When I
Okay,
look at
then
the
you
most
understand.
powerful groups of people in the world right now, most of them do not deal with self. Most of them are a part of a collective body, and most of them put the needs, thoughts, and aspirations of the collective over self. When I look at the
But
Jews,
in
when I look
order
at
to
the
do that, you first got to have balance of self, and then you can help others. That there's no way to
I mean, I
help
get that
somebody.
point. I get your point. I do.
Okay, so like,
Can
what
I
the
ask a
hell?
question? I'm a little late to the show, but what's the topic again?
Delusion.
Well,
Men, women don't
it's,
know.
it's men and women don't know delusion. Originally when I wrote the notes, I was, keeping with our same theme of relationships, but they dug a deeper hole. And the real delusion is that us as men and women, especially in the black community, believe that not being in a functional together household is not uh giving children a deficiency that we aren't raising our children to continue the dilapidated issue problems that we have in the
And so to
society.
that point, bro, that's why I told that story. Like in my mind, my son's mother's doing well. I'm doing
Mugabe,
well.
essential device is not connected. You might want to drop off and come back so I can bring you to the stage. My bad, brother. No, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just communicating to somebody in the backstage.
But he dropped off, and I guess he thought you meant him.
Oh, no.
He ran away.
Yeah. No, I was talking about a brother named Mugabe. He was in the backstage having issues, not you.
Oh, my bad.
So yeah, I don't want you guys to get too far off from the topic, or try to dive right back into the topic if you shall go off. At least.
So if
What's the topic again, y'all? What's the topic again,
The
please?
top.
If
the male and female delusion.
Right. And then
Okay,
we got into raising children. So one of the biggest delusions is what I said I dealt with as a parent. My son's mom did well. I did well. We were doing it apart. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're doing great jobs co-parenting and we've got it right. In reality, though, in my son's world, I don't even like Christmas because I have to choose who I'm going to stay with. Right. So when I said we have to first start by saying no matter how right I've gotten it wrong. If you can't say that, then you're not willing to look at ways to fix self. Like the brother was just saying, if you think you're doing everything right, what reason do you have to say I need to change, I need to fix? So that was a moment for me where I said, damn, if I ever go down this road again, I'm not going to do it unless I'm married.
I mean, anybody that's been a parent already knows they've already fucked up. Like, let's get real.
I don't, but here's my point though.
You got to speak for
You
yourself.
know why I don't think they believe that? Because I didn't believe that, right? Like,
no, let's get real. Let's get real.
No one's perfect. I get you saying. No one's perfect.
So, like, I don't know how old your kids are, but if you've been a parent for any moment of time, there's somewhere, somehow, some way you fucked up. I'm not saying it's major, like you've completely screwed this kid up, but there's some things like,
I get it.
I didn't do what I should have done. And it took you a while to even figure that out. Like, in certain reasons, if you have multiple kids, the first kid, you don't raise the second kid the same way you raised that first kid. Because you learned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I
That's
don't.
100% fact for me. I get you.
Hold on. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But do you think that the first mistake would be having kids by multiple people?
Man, I don't know. You're conflating a lot of issues, man. We just talk about kids.
Why we can't deal with the first issue, man? It's one issue,
because
man.
like, all right.
You shouldn't have kids being immature.
I'm always willing to put myself on the chopping block, right? So with my first son's mom, we were high school sweethearts. We were together through college, off and on, going through our stuff. She wanted me to be ready to be a husband. I wasn't ready to be that, right? We had a baby. And we did a great job in raising him. He's a sophomore in college now, right? But 15 years later, right, when I had my next child with another woman, I was ready to be the man that she wanted as a husband. So now, you know what I mean? We're blessed to say we're married. Things have been going well. You know, every other weekend we want to choke each other. But the kids are always the priority in what we're building. And it's been working out. So I had one, she had one, and then we have one together. So technically we got three.
So y'all guys
was the
are a
oldest.
blended
He's in
family.
college now.
I'm trying to figure out what that story has to do with any offense.
No. Actually, it makes sense. It makes sense because this is what we deal with as people. We do. But I'm saying though, how can we change it?
Learning.
Yeah, but hey, could one of the options? Hold on. Can one of the options, brother? I'm speaking. Can one of the options be? Can we stop having multiple kids by multiple women and multiple kids by multiple men? Can that be an option?
Well, no. That's
okay. Why not?
It can.
Not
Yes,
Sexy
it
Red's
can.
world.
It can,
Non-sexually
but this is
gratification.
not what's being. It can, but what's being showed to us
You
in
see
the
what I'm talking
video,
about? We don't want to deal with what the main
right?
issue is.
Our
I'm
music
gonna be honest.
is putting
No, it's
so
not
much.
gonna happen. Why y'all
Oh my
lying?
goodness!
But
Hold on,
the thing is, the
what I was
woman want
saying was
multiple men.
that
So then we just shooting the shit. We
no,
just brainstorming. We brain farting right
Let me
now.
see if I can rephrase that question because I think the way it's coming off, it may be people may.
I know. Oh, you want me to ask it again?
No, let me see if I can rephrase it so that way, if it's clear
Oh, you
enough.
want to make it sound nice?
No, I just want to make sure everybody can be inclusive. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to
So
do.
I
basically, what
think
he's
all
saying
I
is,
niggas.
can
don't
we
want
get
to
to a
be
place where
inclusive
we're
with
only
everyone.
having children with someone we're going to be with?
No,
Okay,
That makes
so
sense.
go ahead.
so
I
I think
know we want it to be like do whatever you want to do. We've been doing it our way
I
all the
agree.
time, and now we complaining. So now
It
what do
ain't
we
been
do?
working.
okay.
We
Y'all
got to do
complaining.
that.
We gonna have
Hold
it the
on, hold on.
opposite
So
way,
hold
though.
on. So now we got to do the fucking opposite. Stop, stop the bullshit. Stop whoremongering. How hard can that be?
So let me
I
let me
know. Look, I know it
In the
sounds
world of
crazy, right?
sexy red, bro. Now you
But
don't
you
sound
complaining
crazy.
when you beforehand.
I was
Beforehand,
going.
when men had it that the way that Zerubbabel is saying, they
Let me go
complain,
after you,
and now
Keisha.
that they don't like it and
Well,
they
that's the
change it,
roof.
they complaining. Y'all just some unsatisfied. I'm gonna shut up. I'm going back on mute.
yeah,
Could I say something real quick, you guys? I just want to say we're being attacked, right? When we look on
Yep.
the TV, they got our women dressed in nothing. They popping their ass, booty hole brown. We got to
Right.
look. When we look at our young men, they're showing us thugs and gangsters and stuff. This is what our boys and girls are listening to. You
They
know,
not solid.
they're showing our baby girls how to twerk and pop it and stuff like that, right?
Look,
And
big
then
bro.
the
Now
That
parents
they
sounds
got
like
our
I'm
boys
confused.
wearing man bags.
then, right,
That
then the
sounds like I'm
parents,
confused.
and then the parents, when I get in the car with my family, we turn on the oldies. You know why? Because I got 3 young people in the car, and I can't have them repeating lyrics that they heard in the rap song because they see mom and dad bobbing their head, right? Because
That
they're
goes back to
looking
what I
at
said
you
earlier,
every
Abdul.
day. They're
They can say
looking
That's what I
super
at
said.
you.
freak though.
That's what I said earlier, Abdul. We
Right.
gotta, we gotta swallow that hard pill. We the
We
Yeah.
parents
do.
now. We the parents. We the 40.
Right, right. I
Yeah.
don't got no grandparents. My dad, my aunties, and all of them is gone. We're the
Yeah.
matriarchs and stuff in the family now, and
Yeah.
we got to
Patriarch,
do
right.
better. And we're
We're the
not doing
patriarch.
better. We're not even owning homes or none of that stuff. We used to be able to gather at Big Mama's house and stuff. She owned that house. Paw made sure she owned it. We renters now. We renting. We ain't even looking to buy. And on top of that, we're talking about it's better to be single, right? Raising these children that took 2 people to make, but it's better to be single and collect
Right.
welfare
Doing
because
the
I'm
complete
doing me
opposite.
and I'm doing what I want to do. You're ruining these children. They need both their parents. Both parents created them,
yeah,
period, point blank. And they need the rearing of both parents,
yeah.
And
both of them.
how these females may be thinking. They say they're single parent. They ain't one other parent be involved.
Yeah, I think the
Now
main
hold on. Now doesn't that go
Off
back
this
to the
topic.
topic of the discussion, the
All right.
delusion, right?
Right. Thank you. Because I want to get back. I don't want to be
all right,
stuck
all
on
right.
single
The
mom.
Well,
delusion.
let's not confuse delusion with ideal. All right, like because I think there's a problem,
Well,
right?
some of our ideology is delusional.
No, I didn't say
That's correct.
ideology. I didn't say ideology.
Wait,
That is
so
very
why
correct.
females call
I don't know.
themselves why
You
most
tell me
females
about
I
call
that.
think
themselves single parents?
ideal is a set of standards that we keep that we try to meet. Sometimes we don't meet it. It doesn't mean that we get rid of it if we can't meet it, right? So when brother was talking about the stop whoremongering, that was an ideal. My sister over here said that's not gonna happen. Well, it doesn't mean you get rid of the ideal just because you're failing to meet it.
You
It's
can
something that
still strive for it. I agree.
it's something that
So
needs
wait,
to be met or needs
We got to start somewhere.
you need to strive for that
I
because
agree.
if you can achieve that, then you'll have the thing that you're looking for. Anything along the route is going to be better than anything before it.
so why most females call themselves a single parent as if it don't takes two for the parenthood to even be developed,
All right,
as if the other
the
person
We
ideal,
died.
shouldn't be having this
the
circular
ideal is
conversation. Just
the ideal is two active parents inside.
Correct, but they don't want to be two. They want to be single
yes,
parent only.
Okay, but then we need to talk about
yes.
What is it that they don't want and why they need to be heading towards that? If this is a person that doesn't want it, we're not in the business of forcing people to do nothing.
Son of a bitch.
This is a person you avoid. This is a person that is no longer a part of your community because the community you're trying to build is searching for an ideal of a two-parent family that's active in raising their children.
All right, Alicia. All right, touche. I mean, he has spoken.
You know that doesn't happen often, so I'm gonna give credit when it's due. So don't do me, Maurice. Don't play with me.
Y'all are the two females on the panel. That's all I'm saying. That's why I say both.
I thought you were
didn't hear
saying
what he
because I said I
said.
agreed with you, which happens close to never. But okay, appreciate you.
I mean, ideals are scary things because it sucks to aim for something and never hit it appropriately. But it doesn't mean you get rid of it. Like you shooting a bow and arrow and you can't hit the target, you get rid of the target, and wherever you hit is good. It don't work that way. So we need to set up our ideals appropriately.
Yeah,
And
but
set up our standards appropriately.
I'm saying work towards two-parent household. Marry before carry. That's simple. So
brother,
some say most of them do want single parent household. Some people do want to have a child by themselves.
I don't think that
The
I don't
father.
think, brother, I don't think that that's so. I think a lot of this behavior is all learned behavior. We have adults who claim to be adults teaching this dumbass behavior on men and the women. We'll tell our boys, go out there and get that, man. Get that. And they ain't teaching no D discipline.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying
But
you're
what
wrong.
I'm saying is everything is going to be a percentage. What percentage do you want to be in as a man or woman? Do you want to be in the percentage that's going to excel for most of their adult life until they get old and gray? Are you going to be the percentage and your children be the percentage that just complains about shit? Poor man's attitude. You got to come to your senses at some point. Everybody on here, I love 40-year-old adults because that's when they grow up. Women get rid of 200 extra pounds, stop dating the dude that ain't treated them right, and now they move on. Great. But if we got children, put our energy into our children. Again, I'm going to say this. We got the Olympics coming up. Get these overweight, slow-thinking children outside, get them in something that'll change your life, man or woman. Allow the father to come to the games, let them know, show up at the games, father, just support, vice versa. If we don't support the children as two people, then hell, continue to be poor for the rest of your life because it will happen. We black in America. It
Another
don't
thing
matter.
I love saying is not everybody gonna make it. Like I would love for
But
everybody.
everybody could strive to make it.
Facts.
That's
We
why
can try to make it.
everybody can't be a coach because everybody can't motivate somebody to try, put forth your best effort. And when you sit back and look at your life, you can say, I did that. I had a hand in that. Because the life that you live once you have children is no longer for you. It's for your children.
Now the key point is wherever you are, you know where you need to fix yourself if you know what you aiming for, right? You a single mother, you a single father, or whatever. You a father that abandoned your family. You need to start working on repairing that. If wherever you are in the situation, you don't have a appropriate role model as for grandparents, because we getting older in age now. We have no idea what it is to be a grandparent. We didn't have one. Maybe we had one, maybe we didn't. But in the same sense, our parents probably weren't there to be grandparents to our kids, so we don't even know what that looks like, right? So this is stuff we need to start be thinking about now because we at that age.
But some people are in compound ignorance. If you are in compound ignorance, then how you gonna break that?
So let me bounce this off you guys, right? So let's say we figure it out for our own homes, right?
There you go.
But then our kids are in the world they're in, right? How do we adjust for that? Like, let's say we figure it out. We get it right. Like, all praise be to God. I'm married, wake up to all my kids every day. Life is beautiful, right? But now we have to send them kids out into a certain type of world. We have to decide where we want to live.
who we want them to be around.
All
I'm
right.
still figuring it out, so I wanted to hear what you guys thought of that. You
Like,
know,
Give me.
hey,
Can I
Can
pause you guys
can
for a
I say
real,
second
real
something?
quick,
yeah, go ahead. Tim.
real quick. Welcome Mugabe to the stage, and let's let the ladies get in here. The ladies are not spectators. The ladies are also a part of this conversation. Let's not exclude the women.
Hey,
Go ahead, Alicia.
what's up, fellas and ladies? If the ladies want to speak first, I'll let them speak, and then I'll go after any one of the ladies that want to get it in.
Peace and blessings, movie wow.
What's going on, dog?
you ain't got to back down, King. We leading tonight. We leading, but the
Nah,
women can.
nah,
The girls
just
know
as a
I'm
show of
messing with them.
courtesy,
The
just as a
girls
show of
know I'm
courtesy.
messing
That's
with
all.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
but
to show, courtesy, right? Exactly.
yeah, just a show of courtesy. If any one of the ladies wanted to speak, please speak up, ladies, please.
What you got to say, Morphine, my
Nothing.
queen?
No, Alicia gonna say something.
Any other the ladies want to just jump in here with some of these male delusions or female delusions that we want to stay on topic as possible?
No, the males on the panel just delusional to me altogether. But
All of us?
yeah, go
Like
ahead.
every single we got
Explain y'all
names.
delusions.
Yo, my
I'm
name's
here for
Maurice. I'm not delusional, I promise. Like I don't know, you can speak for the other dudes, but please.
Yeah, this is Abdul. I'm a whole married man. You know, I know how to work together.
Oh
I'm a
Everybody put
boy.
daddy.
out
The
the
my kids can hear
credentials.
him right now.
Put out your credentials.
Oh boy. I mean, the only thing that I would say personally, I don't know who was speaking before about how you raise your kids and then you send them out into the world. I think what I would say to
Kenny.
that is it's going to depend upon how and what you instilled in them. And if they get into certain situations that they're uncomfortable with, they're not going to stay because they're not used to that. It makes them uncomfortable. So if you
I
raise them a
mean,
certain way and that's what they know and that's what, obviously a positive way, and they get around other people and it's not that, they're most likely not going to stay around. That's the only
so
thing I can say.
that does make sense. Not even being funny, but in the Lucky Charm world, that makes sense. Most of the men on the phone will probably agree. Our parents did all they could to raise us right, but we still got into things. And one of the biggest reasons we got into things for most of us, I don't know, I'm not saying everyone would agree, but environment played a huge part.
Peer pressure, being
If I
followers.
could
Right.
if I could answer that
Okay.
question,
It was more, you
I
guys.
would
I
love
Real,
to
gotta
answer.
go
real quick.
there.
Most men are
Real,
followers.
It was
real quick.
more. It was more the
Wow.
It's
lack of
Mugabe said.
supervision during our
Mugabe took it
era.
back so
If
you
you
can be
30 and
courteous to the
40,
women. Y'all
in
just
our
like
era, we was the kids being left at home. It was okay and legal to leave a
Yeah,
house full of kids at home.
yeah,
We were unsupervised, a majority of
yeah.
us, and that was the problem. Today, I know what it is being unsupervised. Me and my brothers got into some shit, right?
That brother
That's
makes
why
a
I
good
make
point.
sure me and my wife supervise our children. It's the lack of the supervision, right? When you're not
So you
supervising your
don't
kids,
trust
they're
your
going down the
kids.
street. They're
hang
But
on.
learning from
mom
Let's
and
us.
daddy had to work.
let
Right.
Mugabe
Mom
get
and
in
dad
here.
had
They
to
had to
work.
work.
Mugabe,
Right.
let Mugabe get in here. He was courteous and let the ladies go first. So let him get his. Let him get
Abdul
his.
don't trust his kids.
I
Come
Thank
don't.
on,
you,
big
bro.
The trust is
delusional.
earned,
Hang,
brother.
hang on.
What are
Hang
we
on.
talking
Hang
Oh
on.
about?
boy.
Hang on.
Wait
Hang
a
on.
minute.
Hang on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Mugabe took a back seat and he allowed the. He was a gentleman and allowed the ladies to go first. Now, let the brother have his podium.
Nice guys finish last, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, brother Tim. Can y'all hear me? Is my audio good?
We
Yeah, we
got
can hear you.
Yeah,
Clear.
you
All right,
good.
all right. I think the horrible presupposition, and I'm hearing a lot of people speak from a parent's perspective, and they're not speaking from an introspective perspective. I think that a lot of people need to look at themselves and look at the toxicity levels in their own life. They need to look at the dysfunction in their own life. We don't talk about kids. We'll talk about kids later. I think a lot of people need to look at themselves. What is it about me that's toxic? What is it about me that's dysfunctional? What is it about me? Because a lot of times we put on a happy face or a parent face when we're around kids, but kids ain't stupid. Kids can see the dysfunction in you. Kids can see the toxicity in you, and that is going to manifest in their behavior as well. And a lot of times, us as adults, we think that we're doing the right thing, but we haven't even got rid of our own demons. And and I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking like across the board. A lot of us as black people, we have unresolved issues. We have issues in our past. We have issues with things that went on with people in our past. We have issues that went on in our family in our past, and those unresolved issues are going to manifest themselves in every aspect of our lives. Those issues are going to manifest themselves in our interpersonal relationships. They're going to manifest themselves in our business relationships, and they're going to manifest themselves in our family relationships. And everybody gets on these panels, and I'm not speaking on just this panel alone. I'm speaking in general. We get on this panel and pretend like we just all got it together, and most of us don't. Most of us really freaking don't. Most of us really need to go out there and go talk to somebody that's a professional that can get us some help. And unfortunately, we don't do that. We get around here and we start high-fiving each other, and we start talking about the kids and what's wrong with the babies. You know what's wrong with the babies? They parents. That's what's wrong with the babies. That point blank. And I'm not even gonna go into that. If you want to have healthy children, you have to have healthy, proud parents. If you want to have a healthy society, you have to have healthy adults. And if you don't have that, it's never going to manifest itself. And I'm not gonna go on a rant and sit here and just get on my soapbox. But like for everybody, man, for real, if you serious about changing your life, if you're serious about changing your circumstance, if you're serious about being a productive member of the black community, because most of us are black, whether you choose to use that word or not, most of us are black. A lot of us need to concentrate on being functional and removing the toxicity from ourselves first. And I'll land the plane.
What's a healthy parent to you?
Oh man.
A healthy parent starts with a healthy individual. It starts with if you're a healthy dad, it's going to be damn near impossible for you to be an unhealthy parent. If you're a healthy dad, it's going to be damn near impossible for you to be a healthy member of society. Now,
Who was
if you're
healthy dad? Break it
listen at
down.
what listen at this. Let me finish, brother. If you don't have toxic ideology, toxic thought, toxic principles, toxic ways. See, all of us, when we get in these spaces, we put on a happy face. Oh, we got it all together. Everybody on here got it all together. Yeah, we popping. We doing what we supposed to do. We got our shit together. But in real life, a lot of us have toxic ways. A lot of us have dysfunctional ways. And those ways, we don't talk to anybody about that shit. A lot of us don't do it. And guess what happens? Your kids, you can tell them all the pretty shit you want to tell them. You can tell your kids all of the pretty shit you want to tell them. You can tell them all of the right things, but they see you in real life. Your kids see you with your mask off. And guess what happens? Those kids develop those same toxic behaviors. Your kids develop those same dysfunctional behaviors. And in some cases, they don't, but most of the time, they develop the same behavior. And if we want to break the cycle of toxicity and we want to break the cycle of dysfunction, some of us, probably most of us, we need to go out and get real professional help, man. This is what I'm saying. And I'm
What
not
is
being listen at what I'm saying,
what is
family.
something that we could look at as an example that we all could look at as an example and say that's just a healthy dad over there?
A
I look at
healthy a healthy dad. I'm gonna give you an example. As a man, you should be instilling in your children how to be functional adults. You should be instilling in your children how to maneuver in this world. And as black people, we have to be instilling in our children how to maneuver in this white man's world. We have to be instilling in our children a level of financial literacy. We have to be instilling in our children a level legal literacy. We got men out here, young boys, young men that don't know what to do if they encounter the police. They don't know what their Miranda rights are. They have no idea. They have no idea because they haven't been taught in their household. We have young men out
So
here that have no idea what an interest rate is. They have
Well,
no
let's not move
idea
too
about
far though. I want to
what.
squeeze in and
that's
respond to
that's
something
going
you said earlier,
'cause that's
right?
going a little further because that's more of that's less
Yeah,
delusion and more lack of
lack of knowledge. Why
lack of
far, right?
knowledge and lack of involvement of the parent.
Right.
You know what
Lack
I mean?
right. If the parent
And
doesn't have information, they can't pass it down.
but
So
a
that's
lot of what Mugabe said does tie into the sense of delusion because openly I came on with my satire. I was being somewhat uh facetious, but after hearing what he says, it's real. A lot of us, there are men that feel like if he got a good job, that equates to him being a good person, and that's
Mm-hmm.
and
right.
that's not what it
Right.
is. Just because you got a
You're
good
absolutely
job
right.
and have a good career, you make decent money. That does not equate to you being a good person, and that's the delusion.
Absolutely correct.
That's the
So
Absolutely correct.
delusion
I do want to
because there are
squeeze in
men that
though.
have that, then there are women that believe that too, and there's men that believe that thinks just because he's popping and all of that, he got a good job, he's a good person because he makes money. Then there's women that believe it, but like because she has that same delusion. Well, I know he's decent because he makes good money. Ain't no Tom, Dick, and Harry or no stupid Mickey Ficky is gonna be have a good career, and then they get together and then they raise some kids and tear these kids up, have them all toe up.
But that's
Right.
the
Now
factual
I want to
basis of it
squeeze in
is
though and keep it on the
the.
topic of delusion.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I don't. He breaking up, so I don't think he can hear us. That's why he
I
talking.
just want to squeeze in. Now I can hear y'all. My bad. I was just trying to
No, we
edge
can't really
in.
hear
You know what
you.
I mean? But I was
We
falling
can't
back
really
when
hear
y'all was
you.
speaking. But
We can't really hear
I wanted
you,
to
brother.
respond to something he
He has
said.
a
One of the
latency. He has a
delusions I
latency.
think we have is that you have to be perfect to be a good parent, right? You have to be super healthy. You have to have everything right. Now, for me personally, I you can't hear me?
Much
You
better.
choppy,
You said you
brother.
couldn't hear
So
me?
Mad
you
Yeah,
delay.
choppy.
you
All right.
you
Just keep
you
going.
you,
You good. You keep
So
going.
I'm gonna give
you
a little
underwater.
so So to what he was saying about being healthy, yes, I don't disagree with any of that. The more healthy you are, the better your results will be, right? But I know I wasn't completely healed and fixed when I was raising my son. Now, when I look at my son as a sophomore in college, right, he's very different from me in a lot of ways. And a part of that is because he saw the realities of my life, certain things I went through, good and bad. You get what I'm saying? And I always had dialogue with him about, this is what dad could have done better, and this is things you got to worry about, things you're going to have to deal with. And over time, he just became the man he became, which is very similar to me, but it's not a carbon copy of me, right? So even with my flaws, I was able to raise a respectful, intelligent young man that I'm very proud of. So one of the delusions is we have to be super right to produce a good child. You get what I'm
First of
saying?
all, that was other men that helped raise him. That wasn't you.
What you mean? What you mean?
He got that delay.
Now I think he heard him, but he wants you to elaborate on that. Like, what do
Yeah,
you
what do you
mean?
mean by that?
So he had no other man in his life. You were the only man, 100%.
So when my son's mom and I split up and decided we weren't going to be together, she was like, all right, well, I'm going to do this. I was like, well, I want to raise them too. And we went back and forth. And so we decided, all right, we'll select 2 schools by you, 2 schools by me, right? Whichever one of the schools he gets accepted to first, that's the parent that will be the primary. So she moved because my baby mother, she did very well for herself. She moved to an affluent community. So when she brought him there, they were like, yeah, we like him. We'll put him on the waiting list. I moved back to my old neighborhood where I had connections to where I could get a place. And when I found a good school in that neighborhood, they said, Oh, he can already do basic reading. We'll take him. You don't even have to take him back home, right? So I was the primary for 12 years, right? We broke up when he was 5, and so for 11 years I had him, right? And for the last 2 years, his mom kind of got to a place where she was like, all right, I want my time with him too, right? So everything he learned from me. He was always on my hip. And I thank my son's mother for allowing me to do that, because we know how that game can play out. So in my case, he was on my hip. You get what I'm saying? Everything was about him. He saw everything. So I had to focus on trying to show him the best. But because I always had him with him, because he was always with me, he also saw when daddy wasn't at his best as well. And these were conversations I had to have with him over time, and he learned things. What ended up happening when I look in my son's eyes now, he's not a carbon copy of me, but he's learned from a lot of my mistakes, and he's taken the things from me that I've done extremely well. And so I have a child I can be proud of. So even
So
in
do
me
you
not,
think, with that being said, do you think that he's picked up some of the things that you've done extremely bad as well? And you
I
might not
think,
see those things manifesting right now?
I got you. What I think, honestly, with my son, and this is why I'm so proud of him, because we've had such an open relationship and talk about everything, right? I think certain things he saw me stumble over, he didn't want to stumble over those things as well. I think in my case, he learned from my mistakes because I didn't hide them from him. And we had, very open dialogue about it. And so in my case, I feel like I'm blessed that I believe my son learned from those things. So when I look at him, he's not as quick to anger as I am. He's a bit more laid back. He doesn't interject in conversations the way dad does, because dad has to be heard. He's a different man than I am. And I see more positive than negative. And I'm proud of that. My main thing I always taught him was the only thing you have to do for me, you have to do better than dad. That's it. That's the that's the defining line of whether you were successful to your father, whether you made your father proud or not. And if you can do that and your children can do better than you and your children's children can do better than them, then we can build a legacy. My son accepted that. He understood it, and he understood the assignment. He showed up. I mean,
So him understanding the assignment is a great thing, brother, and I'm proud of you,
I
Dad. I'm proud of you. But understand that people, especially young people, they learn better by observation and conversation. And I
mhm.
need you to really understand that the things that they see, they absorb that a hell of a lot more than the things that you say. So as long as your walk and your talk are similar, long as they're similar, they don't have to be in lockstep. But some people, and it's just some people, that's just the way life is. Some people say certain things and they do something totally different, and their children and the people around them are saying, well, this motherfucker is saying ABC, but they're doing
Yeah.
XYZ. You
I'm,
dig what I'm saying? And
I'm with
children can pick up on that, and everybody around them picks up on that, and it transfers not just into their children's lives, it transfers into their personal lives as well. If you're a motherfucker that's talking ABC, and then you're doing XYZ, and you meet a woman, she's gonna be like, nigga, you was talking ABC. How are you operating XYZ? And vice versa. You dig what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's about individuals walking the walk and talking the talk as best they can. We're human. We're all gonna make mistakes. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it. None of us are perfect. So,
Yeah.
but it's about your walk and your talk being in
in
as
line.
lockstep as you can. And that's the only thing a person can ask. And that's what the people around you are going to look at. They're going to say, you as a man or you as a woman, they're going to say, that individual gave this walk and gave this talk, and that was in lockstep. And that was a person I can say, I appreciate that individual for being that individual. Do you dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And a big part of it is accepting the task, right? When you really
Absolutely.
prioritize saying, I want to raise a great kid, that'll be for a lot of people. If you make that a priority, that'll be motivation for you to do better. Cut the bad habits. Check yourself when you're getting out of pocket and be slower to anger and things like that. My son gave me those things. You know what I mean? He was my reason.
Are you that same? Are you that same way with the women in your life? Thank you.
So no. Slow down. When it comes to the women that mean the most to me, yes. When it comes
What
to
does
my
that mean? Unpack that.
when it comes to my wife, when it comes to my mom, when it comes to my best friend, who is a woman, and I had to get my wife on board with, yo, look, I love you, but this is still my best friend, and it all worked out. Now they talk more than I do, right? But to the women that matter to me, mean the most, absolutely. To women I engage in other areas, mainly social media, right?
They get a
I may come
different
off
you.
completely different.
Why?
There's a whole therapy session here.
Because he's being fake. That's why. He's being fake. That's why.
No,
He's
it's a
being
good
fake.
bill.
No, but hey, check this out. I just came across something right now that kind of goes into what we're talking about. It's a Cam Newton interview that just got sent to me.
Oh God.
And everybody is saying that this lady ate Cam Newton up. She's like she beat
did.
him up. She beat him up real bad. That's what they saying. So let me go ahead and
do it.
Oh, shit. I hit something. God damn it. What the hell did I hit? Okay then.
And while you getting everything right, people
and not think that I'm not.
People tie.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
I'm
just
saying,
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it. I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy.
Well,
yikes.
I mean, in
Well,
a sense,
then
she's
that
true
was
about that
that was
because.
a word. Okay.
But this is how.
Wait a minute. Wait. Who agrees Like, who agrees with everything she said, and why do you agree with everything she says? And who disagrees with what she says, and why do you disagree with what she says?
Yeah, I'm calling 90% of what I agree with like 90% of what she said.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Because when it comes to him, his reasoning of taking time, he's taking his time. Taking his time for what? What are you taking to build a family? You already got half one built every place you're going. So what are you taking? Right. It don't make sense. I don't think it.
But this is how
The area I disagree with is her concept of compartmentalization. Not that was off, completely off. Like, men need to compartmentalize. The way he's applying his compartmentalization, maybe not exactly what she sees, and so therefore that's why it's coming out messed up. But the way she's like that understanding of what compartmentalization is, she got completely wrong.
That was Gabi?
No, that wasn't
Maurice.
Not at all.
I'm on the same page with you, Maurice. That was a good summation of it for me.
So it can't be 100%. You know, there's going to be some outliers just based on that statement. But my thing is this: as a man, if you want to live the best life you can live, if you have children, try to find a little time to spend with them, whether it's talking on the phone, you know, just encouraging them to be the best, because they're going to get a lot of shit in their face anyway. Sort of separate how you feel about the parent. Don't go into it with your feelings. And again, I have sisters, man. If you want to change your life, once your boy's scrotum sac separates from his body between 11 and 12, he needs a positive male figure, whether it's the father
Absolutely.
or not. He needs a man that's going to give him a high expectation of being a consistent, being honorable, having some type of integrity, accountability, having a vision for himself. I can't say my son, you know, I can't cuss my son out in one hand and then expect him to go out here to perform at a high level. And I know this, it gets stressful for a woman when your boy is bigger than you and he's doing what he wants, because he already understands that he can challenge you. You ain't gonna do nothing but yell at him, and he gonna go right back. That's why it's important. Find a man who has no invested interest in trying to get with you. Say,
and that goes that goes right with what the sister was saying, because I'm with Maurice. Like, I agree with what she said, and I disagree with the compartmentalized portion, because you know we have to compartmentalize. That's how we move through life.
Yeah, you have to.
But the part that, to what you just said, like, he created all of these homes, he created children that he isn't there for. You know, so it puts those women in a position to say, well, since your daddy not here, I got to go find a father figure, a mentor, or something.
And the reality is he literally just can't be there for all those children in different homes. He's not capable of doing it. So now, when we talk about delusion, when these conversations come up and people tie Nick Cannon to this particular conversation.
I was gonna just say that. I just got another clip. I just got another clip of that same lady talking.
Before you drop it, right? The reality, when we talk about delusion, that we have to realize is, no matter how good you are in all the other areas, right? If you aren't spending the primary amount of time with your child and rearing him and molding him, you're not in control of how he's being molded. And so this is why families and marriage are so important. And
But
this
what
is
makes it? What? Hold on.
delusion.
Pause. What makes as men? What makes us think that we are non-toxic, non-delusional, non-fucked up to where we can actually raise young men in a proper space? The reason why I'm saying it, this is a two-part thing. You can be a biological father and still be a fucked up nigga. You can be a biological father that wants to be in your child's life and be a completely fucked up man. And then there's another guy that's a non-biological father that's head and shoulders above your capacity. But the thought process that we're having now is that this man should have carte blanche over how this young man is raised. He should have some say so.
Well, hold on.
Absolutely.
So that's not where my stance is. So if you ask me, what prevents me from being a toxic man that can't rear my child the right way,
That's
I
not
would
what I
say,
asked.
Okay,
But go
check
ahead.
this
that's
out.
why I didn't want to get too
Hold
far
on,
from
hold
the
on.
question, but I do want to answer.
Let me get to what Mugabe said. This is the factor, because what you said is 100% true. That I don't know if you heard what I was talking about earlier when I said, men have this delusion of thinking just because he got a great career and all of that makes him a good person. But to the point with the Cam Newton situation is like it creates a deficiency in the children. So you can be like you said, have all intentions purposes to want to be in this child life, but you still an ain't shit dude. You still a loser at the end of the day, right? So you go make another baby and then have that child have a deficiency and build resentment towards its father the same way, which is going to translate, if it's a daughter, may even translate to having resentment to all men.
But
So
hold on.
you see what I'm saying?
I do want to say this though
It's a
before we get
domino
too
effect.
far in the other lane, right? To answer his question on what helps me be the best father I can when I'm slipping, it's my wife. She's someone that can check me. She can call me upstairs and say, "Yo, listen, close the door real quick. Yeah, I heard how you was talking to him, like yada yada." You get what I'm saying? This is the value of teamwork in a home, right? When you have two functional people that have the same goal of creating the best child that they can create to do the best they can do in the world, right? That adds value. So
But that's not
when
the, that's
hold
not
on,
the that's
let,
not the reality.
well, let me
And not
land
to
the
cut you
plane.
off, brother. Okay, go ahead, brother.
I know that's not most people's reality, right? But we also want to look at solutions, right? So I can only share what worked for me, right? So one of the greatest things about my marriage, not only with children, but just with how I deal with family, how I deal with friends, right? Is my wife is someone that can check me, right? When I think I know it all.
Are you hold on before you go any further, brother? I need to ask you a serious question. Are
Yeah.
you a stepfather or are you a biological father or both?
I
So
think you both.
yeah, we got three. She had one, I had one. We
Yeah,
have one.
it's a blended family, Moody.
Okay, right. The reason why I'm asking that is because this is very very important. Most of our women, once you get to a certain age, 30 plus, the likelihood of you meeting a woman that does not have children is very freaking
I'm
low. We
I'm
have to
I'm an
be
example of
mindful of
that.
that, bro.
I'm an
Hold on.
example of that.
This is extremely important.
I'm with
So when you're dealing with a woman that already has children from another, me personally, this just me personally, I would love to know your baby daddy and your biological daddy. That's just me. It don't always work that way sometimes for whatever reasons. I want to know, your biological daddy, and I want to know your baby daddy, so I can see. I don't want to just hear your story.
right.
You feel what I'm saying?
So
And
so
but these things, hold on, brother, please hear me out. These things are important when dealing with the nuances of relationships that we have right now. You can be a phenomenal dad. You can be a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal dad, but guess what happens? That other nigga, you don't know what that nigga doing. You
Yeah.
don't know you don't know what's in his mind. You don't know how he thinks. You don't know his thought process. You don't know where he's coming from. You don't know if you've been told complete lies about their previous relationship. You don't know any of that stuff. So these things are important, and I think this is the stuff that we really need to talk about instead of patting ourselves on the back as men saying, "Hey, I'm a good dad. I'm an awesome guy." fuck that. Where's your baby daddy? Let me take this nigga out for some drinks. Let me go have lunch with him. And even if he just lied to me completely, I need to find out what type of man he is. Let me talk to your biological daddy. Let me find out what type of man he is. You know what I mean? Like, these things are important when you're talking about blended families. But these are the things that we can't even get to because for some reasons in certain situations, some women don't want these two entities or these three entities crossing paths with each other. And
Now let me
that's
put a pin right there. Let
okay.
me put
Go
a
ahead,
pin right
brother.
there because
Yeah, I want to comment after that.
I just want to respond real quick. So to your point, right? A lot of these situations, especially with modern, I don't even call it family, but with modern parenting, when you call it co-parenting and all the things involved there are a ton of different scenarios, right? What we as men can do, right, is to do the best thing we can do in our situation, whether we have the information that I do agree with you, it would be nice to have. But if you're in a situation where you don't have that relationship with the baby dad, you can still do things to create a good situation. So, for instance, my stepson, right? He calls me Mr. Kenny, right? Now, it's not because I'm making a separation from him and my other children, and you're not my son. I'm not. No, it's because you have a father that is in your life, and I want you to always respect him. I'm still here for you. I don't need the gratification of you calling me dad or whatever. I'm building levels of respect for all the people in my life. Because what we see in a lot of these blended family situations is the new guy comes in and he just wants to take over and it creates friction, right?
That's because,
When,
can I pause
hold
you
on, hold
there?
on. I'm landing my plane. I promise I'm
Yeah,
landing. When
yeah.
you make an effort to show that respect, right? Like when he goes home and tells his dad, "Oh, Mr. Kenny, yeah," and well, I call him Mr. Kenny because he lets me know I have a dad and I should always love and respect my dad. Whether him and I have that relationship or not, that's building something. So now, if it was bad energy the first time, after his boy spends a week with him and he talks to his boy, he's like, "Word, homie said that." Now we dapping it up. You understand what I'm saying? And now it can slightly just build from there. You get what I'm saying? So
I
even
feel you.
if you
All
don't
right.
have, even if you don't have
Can
that,
I
yeah,
interject?
hold on.
So
Even if you don't have that,
we're
that
in here.
I'm landing. Even if you
Hey,
don't have that,
but Morphine,
that,
this is good. This is good man talk right now. I think you might just
yeah. Even if
let
you
him
don't have
build.
that just yet, you can
But
continue
we
as
about
the
to end
man
this
you
draw.
are, right? To build on the things you want to see. Because a lot of men get caught up in, all right, that's the baby daddy and he over there and F him and I ain't thinking about him, right? But the reality is the more comfortable you make him, the more comfortable he'll make your new girlfriend or your wife, right? And the easier your life will be, right? It's an orbit, right?
Absolutely.
So you got to take care of things 2 and 3 planets out, right? If we as men start to think like this and not be so challenged and standoffish, right? Then we can build something there. But at the end of the day, the best way to secure this, if you have a child with a woman, be with that woman, and then you can raise that baby.
Okay,
Good
real
build.
quick, Morphine. I want to welcome.
Facts.
What is that? Cruz, and Neo Love to the panel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my man
Peace and
Neo with
blessings.
the
Peace and blessings.
tacos.
What's good
Oh,
with it?
my
What's
brother.
good with it?
All right, all
Tacos
right.
on
Go
deck.
ahead. All right, go ahead, Morphine, and get it out.
Before I go, do you guys want to add something on to the conversation?
Uh,
I'm talking
I
about the new
mean,
guys.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'm just tuning in and trying to get a grasp of what y'all talking so about. I didn't know y'all was live. can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear
Okay. So I'm a numbers dude, but I'm also a logical individual.
you.
I'm a father, 3 kids. I got 2 daughters and a son. I've been with women that have children. Um, and I respect everybody's opinion, but my thing is, if you don't know 51% of the population, then we can't say most or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So one of the biggest things is I heard the homie that I was just speaking, and now I took a little bit of a different take. Long story short, I dated a woman. She had a son. He was he was just turning 1, so I still consider that to be the infancy setup. So the father was trash, a trash individual to her and the kid, right? I played that role. I didn't have my mom or my dad growing up. So I played that, I know what it's like not to have that at home. But if you got role models around you, it could supplement for what you don't have. So to me, in that situation, it was more so like I allowed this kid to call me call me dad because I played that role. I played that role in his life. I made sure he was good, made sure he had something to eat. Something ain't in the house, you got to go get that. That's just what it is. That's family. Right? And family isn't necessarily your bloodline. It's the people you connect with. Because sometimes you closer to a dude in the street than you are your own brother.
Careful with that.
You get what I'm saying? So in that situation, but you gotta be careful with your own family too. So family ain't bloodline. Family is the relationship. Now, again, a lot of people think that because like I've dealt with the complications of that's my kid's dad. Well, also, if your kid's father or dad, the baby dad, the sperm donor, whatever you want to call him, is not playing the role, you then have to protect your child from that individual.
I agree.
Right? So if you meet a man that is willing to do the things that's supposed to be done to create a better human being, because guess what? You can only teach a kid so much based on their personality. Because at the end of the day, that kid's going to grow up to be an adult. And he's going to make his own decisions whether what you told him the right things or not. That's the world that we live in. So in that situation, look at how many kids come from 2-parent homes where both the parents are a mess. Drugs, whatever is out there. We've seen it every day. Look at the kids in Philly right now. They're going crazy. And a lot of them may not have their mom at home, maybe at grandmom's house, but there's nobody there to necessarily give them a good start and a fair shot. So at that point, it doesn't matter if that little kid want to call you dad, you feel comfortable with the kid calling you dad because dad ain't there, whatever. And there's sometimes where you might be trying to be respectful, like the homie just said. Hey, listen, I'm just here. That's my lady right there. I'm here to make sure she's good. Some dudes ain't even trying to hear all that. They on some, I can still get, like, no, you better sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I felt like maybe I took the way what he was saying in the wrong fashion, but it sounded like in a perfect world, it would work out that way. But I just read a story about a father in Virginia who got killed exchanging his daughter at the police station because the new boyfriend was there with the mom. That's the world that we live in. So we need men to step up. We need everybody to step up. It's not a man thing or a woman thing or nothing like that. Everybody got to play their part. So to me, it don't matter what you want a kid to call you. At the end of the day, that's going to be the family that you mesh with. If you want to mix and blend and all that type of stuff, it's the things you got to go along with that come with that. You got to accept that this man may be in your life for the rest of your life or the duration of that relationship. And the same thing with a woman that's getting with a man. If a man has a tendency not to take care of his kids, don't have another kid with that man because he ain't showing you the right things.
Quick question, fam. Did you have a sit down with the biological baby daddy at any point?
I'm a person that is open to having the conversation, right? If you're not open to having that conversation, that is not my problem.
I'm asking you a question, fam. I don't know what you're telling me.
I'm guessing saying that it didn't happen. It sounded like it didn't happen.
I was open to having. That's what I'm saying. If I was open to having that conversation with him, but out of spite of that situation of the person moving on, it wasn't able to happen.
And
I'm still not. I'm still not. Hold on. Stop. Pause. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding none of that. If I'm fucking her and I know who her baby daddy is, baby daddy, what's happening, brother? Let's go talk. I need to holler at you about some shit. And I'm saying, allow
to
me
his
to
point,
finish.
if my
Allow me
response
to
is
finish.
don't call my phone.
Allow me to finish this, brother. And his response could have been whatever.
Right.
If his response is whatever, you still need to say, hey man, I still need to talk to you. I still need to have this conversation. As we need to have this conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a different level of manhood, bro. It ain't saying I don't give a fuck if he's a scumbag. I don't give a fuck if he's on fentanyl, leaning on the corner. I don't give a fuck if he's a $10 million nigga. You need to say, hey, bruh, I need to have a conversation with you about your child and your baby mama that I'm dealing
Here's
with
the thing,
now.
though. Here's the thing. With the story that you just told, right? I got what he was dealing with.
Your
I can
phone breaking up, so that means you ain't saying nothing, boy.
I, I can understand, right, that there are dudes out there that just like, yo, I don't want to talk to you. Don't call my phone and what and they want to come in an aggressive manner, and you can actually cause more chaos trying to push building that relationship than
Right.
just saying, all right, this is where he is, and
Well,
it
what I
is
want
what
to
it
get
is.
in here
What I'm
doing is
saying
this.
is, regardless of the situation as a man and your job to build on what can be. Many of us weren't the best fathers when we stepped into fatherhood. Men develop, right? So it's not going to happen for everybody. So I'm not saying go into it thinking yellow stars and pink diamonds and lucky charms. What I'm saying is you're just simply tasked with doing the best you can do every day
Can I
to
ask
All
you?
right, hold on.
facilitate.
Can I ask
So
you a
let me
quick
get in there with
question?
this. I
I
just
just
want
want to
to
ask a
say,
quick question. I just want to ask a quick question.
Wait, yeah, I wanted
If
to
if you if
respond
you
to
let's
that
want to
move
too.
if
on.
you went out if you went out and looked for a job, wouldn't they ask you to give me a couple references? Wouldn't they
Absolutely.
say? I mean, it's the same principle.
The
Like
principle is the same, right?
if I'm fucking with this broad, I need some references about her character, her behavior. I might not take it as being factual, but I at least need to hear it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna take her word for it, cause she go always tell me she go put on the rose-colored lenses and tell me that she's just this phenomenal ass
Okay.
woman that been fucked over by this guy, and she's just, oh my god, baby daddy is a piece of shit. You need to have that. You need that Hey, reference. Let me holler at you right quick.
This is Cruz. Can I respond directly?
Go ahead, good brother.
Listen, I love your bravado, my brother. I mean, let me say this to you though. That's the part of you dating. That's the part of you sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, right? So as you talk to me personally, I don't like to sit down. I don't like to be on the phone. I need to see what your body language looks like. Are you telling me the truth?
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So, but my thing is this. Also, when it comes down to that, you go like we all date off of instinct and connection and attraction. All of those things come together. I'm not a therapeutic type of individual, but at the end of the day, these are a combination of things that I've experienced to allow me to find the right person to sit down and have a conversation with and proceed accordingly. Now, I think you were the same person that mentioned I need to have a conversation with the father, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Or
I'm gonna say
or
this.
you
I'm,
should. You don't.
I'm gonna
You
say this.
should.
I get that, but I'm gonna say this. I think that society has changed post-pandemic versus pre-pandemic. Okay, and socially we do not get along. Like a lot of us have some form of overly aggressive behavior, and I don't understand it. Now, in that situation, if in a perfect world, I think that is a good thing to do to sit down and have a conversation with the father of the child. But at the end of the day, the only man I'm going to speak to about dating a woman that I would require a blessing from is her father. But in that situation, when it comes down to it, if he's doing his job as a man for his son, I am not going to step in the way of that. At the end of the day, if I have the opportunity to introduce myself, I will. But it's a very
touchy
complicated
situation.
situation.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it can,
Supposed to be
Okay.
touchy.
but it
It's
should
supposed to
I
be
not
want to get
touchy.
in
be.
here. Hold on, let me get in here.
Yeah, I want to
I
get
want to say
into it.
this. I want to say this. Cruz, and for the brothers that's like you, that's will step in there and be daddies and all that, and be the step pops, and you know, I appreciate all of y'all so because I'm not built that way. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
respect it.
not.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
built
I
that
wanted
way.
to say, yeah,
I'm
Cruz.
like when me and well, go ahead, Abdul. My bad.
No, it's all right, brother. My father was like you, Cruz. My dad I got a whole bunch of step brothers and sisters that my dad took care of. Right, not every man was doing that. Right, but um, uh, 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 I think dealing with women,
Nice.
right, that have children already, you're going into a situation or a problem already, right? You don't know, not, just like you said, you might want to talk to the baby. Well, out here in California, I understand what Moody Wise
Oh,
saying out
you
here
in
in
Cali, bro?
California.
That's a different
Yeah,
story.
yeah, you want to talk to the baby daddy because you might be over there and this crazy nigga pull up with his gang or whatnot,
Yo, on the dead homies, yo.
on
On
the
the
dead
dead homies.
homies and all that stuff. So you might want to know, right? But to me, just date, like trying to do something serious with a woman that had children, it wasn't in my future, because there's always going to be that other man. And say he's locked up, he was a good dad, but he's locked up doing 1524 murder. His brothers, his family's still around, right? They're gonna be like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be disciplining little Tyrone. Wait a minute, I'm married to this woman. This is my wife. He my son now. You can't, and it's all type of problems, right? So I think
More
if
power
you
to you.
single and you want to be married, right, and have that, just like one of you brothers said earlier, stay with the woman that you have children with. Work it out.
Yeah.
If you got
I agree with
married,
that.
it said thick and thin, sickness and health. You got to do that. If you ain't
For
did
better
the
or
thick
But
and
worse.
we
thin,
but we
sickness
know
and
that's
health.
not. You know that we over 40, bro. We know that's not reality.
Hey,
If you ain't
Yeah,
with
that's
her,
what I
if
was
you
hey,
ain't
about
with
to
her
Lily.
now,
Reality, yo.
if
Hey,
you ain't with
Yeah,
her
so
and
now,
that
that
person
ain't
that moved
reality.
on, and you talking
since
I
about
would
talking up
absolutely
that
not ever stay with
relationship.
my
the
ex.
brother
No.
came out there and said all the
Like
beautiful
y'all crazy. Ain't
brother
nobody going
brother
back.
Cruz came out there and he said all of that beautiful stuff about yourself. And as a brother that's on the other side of the coin, to all the viewers that's watching, it's okay to say fuck them kids. It's all right. It's okay that
Well,
if you know in
that's
your
your choice.
if you know that you're not built that way, because I'm just speaking because I'm not gonna love them kids like they was my own. I'm not.
The
I'm not.
bingo.
It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
It
I'm not
don't.
saying that
Only
I'm not saying
So
that
you.
I'm a cruel
that's a lot
person.
of projecting right there, brother. That's a lot of
No, no.
projecting. So that's
Look,
why one would feel that way.
projecting
Well,
what? What am I
it's
projecting?
self-awareness. It's
Yeah, I'm like
self-awareness.
I'm
He
saying
understands that's not for him.
I'm Team Tim,
I'm
man.
But
right.
that's why he wouldn't do it, because in a projection world, I'm not going to do that because what happened if that's not done for my child?
What's
Look,
that have to do with anything?
It's just not that. It's just not
I
happening.
don't understand.
right,
Yeah, we don't understand that point.
Oh no.
right. All I'm
Well,
saying
let me
is
can I
that
ask a
for the
question?
brothers, for
Can
the
I ask a
brothers out
question?
there that's like me, that's on the other side of the coin, don't feel bad because of nothing he said. What the brother said was absolutely true. It's absolutely beautiful. And the way that you feel, like if you feel like me, like them is your kids, it ain't my responsibility. I'm not gonna love them kids like they my own because I have no interest in them because they're not my kids. That's just what it is. If you're built
But that's
like
a
that, like
natural. That's
me,
a natural
if you're
thing, though. That's
if
very
you're built like
natural.
me, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let women come out here and
Yeah.
No, but
shame
Let
you
me
like you
let
wait
me
a
bullshit.
slide
minute,
in
bro.
real
Yeah.
quick,
Wait a
What's in
minute,
the
brothers.
bro.
road?
Let me
Wait,
slide
Hold
in
on, the
wait,
brother had
FTV.
a question.
wait.
No, don't wait a minute. Y'all understood
Hey,
that
you're
shit.
supposed to.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me slide in after the.
And
Let
don't
me
be
Brother
let
had
me
a
mad
Hold
when
get
it
in
on,
question.
after
comes
hold
the
on.
back
Let
next
me.
vice
I,
man.
versa.
hold on. I just.
Right. You see this straight?
I see it. Yeah.
I,
Right.
I'm
But can
just
I?
saying that you're supposed to be this whole different caliber of guy. You're supposed to be fuck everything. I am so infatuated with this individual that
Keyword infatuated.
I'm right. I'm infatuated with this individual to where what I think is normal, it gets thrown out the window. That's what you're supposed to be. And I'm not saying I agree with you because I think some kids leave. I don't. I just me. And I'm a single guy. And I've been in a couple relationships with single moms and I've
You got any
facilitated
kids?
young men being phenomenal young men. I don't I
You got
don't
any
I don't
kids?
necessarily agree with you.
Congratulations, brother. Kudos.
Yeah.
We need
No, no,
more
but
brothers like you.
I'm
That's what
not
we need in
I'm
the
not
communities.
No,
I'm
we
not
don't.
brag
No, we
I'm not
don't.
bra-
I'm
We don't
asking if
need
you
more
got any
brothers that.
kids.
He was a good stepdaddy.
You know,
I
He
didn't
was
quiet.
a
I,
good stepdaddy.
I was
What's
no
wrong with
they
y'all, man?
go to that comment you
Moody
made.
One was a
Oh,
great
we don't
stepdaddy.
need that. We don't need
but
more.
I tell you what, every motherfucking time I knew who biological was. And I had a conversation with the motherfuckers and been like, hey bro, what's going on with you and baby? Is this what you doing? How you feel about that? And however the conversation ended, it led me to move in a certain manner. Because that's very, I don't think y'all understand. That shit is very important.
It is highly important, though. I agree
What's up, man?
100% with that. But in that situation, when it comes down to that, like
What
it's
are you mad about
situational
cursing?
based, though. It's
I put a
situational
curse on
based.
you, right?
So it's interesting because also when it comes down to, I don't know anybody on this podcast, on this broadcast at all, but I got a question. And my question is more so like an internal question. If you didn't have both of your parents when you were growing up, right? I was lucky that I had some street. I had the streets to help me out when I played football. They looked out for me. They got me on the field. And in that situation, that's how I look at it. Like when I was that kid that didn't have them people, have my support system, or feel like I had my team around me, the village to help raise me and build me to who I am, it hurt. But as a grown man growing up with so much aggression and just being upset, and in that situation, that I already knew that the world wasn't perfect as a kid. So when I look at a kid and I see that he don't have, and I have the ability to do it, at the end of the day, my point is this: I ain't perfect, and I ain't no righteous individual. I don't even go to church. So what I'm saying is, I like to look out. And if I happen to meet a woman that has a kid, and it seems like the coast is clear, I'm talking to her, I'm feeling like it makes sense. If the father's there and I can have a conversation with him, better believe I'm gonna have the conversation with a man to man without the macho, with the intelligence to say, this is where we are. What's going on with you? Are you good? And I got to judge him for who he is, to watch my back to make sure I'm straight. But at the same time, it's like that's still a kid that don't have no ability to do nothing for himself. But we sit there and we say we love the homies though, and the homies be the ones that take when you go to court because y'all done did something crazy. He the one snitching on you, or he the one throwing a case on you. I've been there too. So for
Now,
me, when I sit there and I see that, I'm weighing my options at all times. There's no right answer to none of this. It's just your preference.
that's true. It's what works for you and what you're equipped to deal with.
One
Now,
hundred percent.
I do want to throw out the other side of the stepfather game, right? So, my biological son, he had pretty much been raised. He was wrapping up high school when, we were about to get married. Um, and my son wasn't the sports kid. Much as I tried to push him, we hit a point, in his development where I was like, all right, this just ain't the thing. Now, one of the things that came along with my stepson is this little nigga's nice. Like he cooks on that court, right? Listen, Team Curry, bro. Like he's that. So now I get to go to the games and I get to train him on the weekends and do little things. So that was a benefit for me. Much as I love my son, there were certain things I wanted to do there that just weren't him, and that was fine. That doesn't reflect on our relationship, but I also got to enjoy experiencing those things through my stepson, and I love every minute of it. So there is upside in it as well, but I'm not disagreeing with the brother. If it's not something you don't want to do, that's why I asked the brother, does he have kids? Because if you don't have kids, I wouldn't even recommend, jumping out the window to get your start on someone else's child. I understand
Right.
that. Now with me and my wife, we were both floored when we came in. All right, you messed up over there. I messed up over here. Let's do it right this time. You get what I'm saying? And we were able to build on that. So it's not for everyone, right? But for those that are willing to go down that road, no matter whether you can create that connection with the other baby father or not, it's your job to just build a path to peace, to something amicable, and to something that's best for the child. 'Cause at the end of the day, if you really love the kid, you just want to see him or her in the best situation that child can be. So everything can't be perfect. I agree. It would be good if we could have certain conversations with the other side, but I hear what the brothers are saying. A lot of dudes just, she left me, and this nigga think he better than me, and y'all, like, it can go there as well. So that can actually turn into something, and then we all end up on Channel 9 News, right? But whether you can have that or not, that doesn't stop you from laying the groundwork to create building blocks so that might potentially be a thing. Most of us at one point weren't the men we are now, right? So even
Salute.
if the brother isn't on point, right? Show him. If nobody shows us grace as black men, let's try to show it to each other. Now that doesn't mean give him the green light to not do nothing, be disrespectful, whatever. If he doesn't hold up his end of the bargain, then you have to adjust and move accordingly, right? But we got to show each other a little grace. And whether we have that connection or not, that doesn't stop us from laying the foundation, building the groundwork to creating something that in the future may be everything we wanted right now. You know what I'm saying? No cookie cutter.
Absolutely. Okay, so check this out. We're getting ready to wrap it up, everybody. You know, I'm gonna go around the panel and let everybody know where they can find you. I'm gonna start in the top corner over here with Maurice. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Maurice, and let them know where they can find you. What's going on?
Yeah, come check me out on my YouTube channel. It's Maxi Studio Music. That's spelled lowercase M-A capital X lowercase S-I. Come check out my songs. Do that YouTube thing. Subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. I love hearing from y'all.
Drop your link in the chat, bro. I'm gonna give you a follow.
No doubt, no doubt.
All righty. Ferg, I know you got a platform.
Oh yeah, just to finish up. Listen, wherever you are in your life, you have a chance to make a difference in your children's life if you have children. So now is the time to focus on pushing your child to be the best they can be. If he ain't the athlete, maybe he's smart. He can be the agent of the athlete. I would recommend that if you do date a woman with small children, make sure the children is below, before school age. Once school starts, it's going to be a difficult climb. Listen, I don't know, man. I just hope that young guys figure it out. Don't go by other people's stories on how to move accordingly to your life. Once you see things happen in your life, start moving accordingly. You can't listen to other people's story because people don't want to see you succeed. So you have to be willing to disconnect from the negativity as you become age appropriate. When that brain clicks on, you have to be willing to make a stance for yourself to change the dynamic of where you are. None of us were born rich. So, here we are in the 21st century. We got the Olympics coming to LA. So all you LA people, I better see more damn LA kids in the Olympics this year. Get the kids outside. They overweight. You get outside, lose 20 pounds, show up, be appropriate, respect your child, respect the atmosphere, respect adults, respect yourself. And I guarantee you all your blessings will come when you're ready. But if you're still fighting people, you'll never be ready. I'm at Trey Ferg, the player coach. I'm sorry, man. Trey Ferg, the player coach. I don't do a lot of fighting on my channel, just giving good information. You want to join me? That's fine, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Who else? Anybody else got a platform or something they want to say where they can find them?
So I just started my platform. It's the Wall Street Willie World Report, and I kind of cover, 3 topics per episode. I usually either cover something in the news, something in sports, and then something social media. And I bring different people on the show for interviews and things like that. So I would love to work with you brothers on a one-on-one level and do some building. But this was a good show, and it's a lot to unpack when we attack these topics. There's no cookie cutter answers for anything. There's no one size fits all. This is gonna work for you because everyone's situation is different. So you gotta chew the meat and spit out the bones. But as brothers, what we're doing right here is
Ooh, ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
what happened? What happened? You
The
dropped off?
ancestors said they didn't want to hear that.
All right, they didn't want to hear none of that. All right, so I was all doing something else. You know what I mean? I could have been digging in my
That's messed up. They caught you right in the middle of not paying attention.
I want to say shout out to everybody in the comments that watched the show in the audience. We appreciate you so much. You make sure you like and subscribe at More Conversations with the Average Black Man on YouTube, More Contentious Media, and the Average Black Man Show on all other media platforms, social media platforms. And until the next wait. What's the next episode? Well,
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. I know y'all ain't gonna have a whole show, and I ain't saying nothing in this show. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. That's what we doing today. I could have sworn the show is called More Conversations with the Average Black. Don't make me cut you. Don't make me cut you. All right. So what is our next show going to be about? Right now we got on the books. I don't want to. I'm not going to bring that show up back up again. I just looked at it. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing that. Are we going to talk about politics?
We can do politics with this election season coming up. We definitely need some people that have some insight and understanding. We can't. I don't want a panel full of people vote for Kamala because she's a black woman. Well, why? Because she's a black woman. But why? Because Trump is racist. Like, but why? You know, we don't need
a black woman. But
I was about to say that. Like, she ain't even black.
Right.
She ain't even black. But I think next episode, you guys, we're going to come to you guys straight up with a nice little political show. What it's going to be about, I don't know yet. We got to write the treatment. Y'all know how we are. Thank everybody for joining this panel today. I'm sorry for being tardy. Had a little situation at home or whatever.
Tardy for the party.
I'm always tardy, so there is that.
You're excused.
Thank you.
I give you a hard pass.
Don't be tardy for the party.
No, till next time, you guys. Hit the button.